first real decision that who he is as a general manager, who he is as a baseball executive leading a front office, he will really start to get graded on this hire. And I like unconventional. I like out of the box. I like trying things and bringing more talent into the MLB. But there's the risk factor of it. And if it doesn't work, right, have you wasted 2 more years, 3 more years of this experiment? And how does that look on Posey's resume? So there's pressure on Posey to get this right.
Mm-hmm. There definitely is. But Buster thrives on that kind of pressure. Now, basketball tonight, the NBA.
Da, 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 da. Whitey loves the song so much, it's stuck in his head right now.
Makes me throw up. What will be the 3 biggest stories of this NBA season? Or 3 big stories? I think we were just talking about the TV package. I think that's going to be an ongoing story. Hey, look at that. They're bringing the song back. They've got a new song. They've got this announcer. They've got that announcer. Where can I find the game? What channel is the game on?
Where can I find the game?
I think that's going to be an issue for a while. Wait, it's streaming? I can't watch it? This is horrible. Just little things like that.
Yeah, and I think they already got off to a really bad start with that. This happened a while ago, but did you hear Commissioner Adam Silver's comments when I think it was Ramona Shelburne asked him, like, fans are concerned about all these streaming services and being priced out and not being able to find the games they want to find. And this is a highlights league, and you can just watch this on YouTube. I just thought it was an extremely...
and I did spend a significant amount of time.
An extremely tone-deaf...
Definitely.
Like, I'm richer and better than you type attitude that
stupid.
You just don't want to have. And I don't know if he's trying to walk that back in any way, but I think that is going to be a real concern. But at the same time, like, if your product is good enough, people will make the effort to find it, no matter how frustrating it is to start. So I think it's going to be one of these things where the first couple months we're like, where's this game? And I remember feeling the same way about when Thursday Night Football went to Prime. And now it's normal. It's like Thursday night, I turn Prime on.
Right.
So we'll get there. But to start, it's going to be definitely a little slippery. We're going to hear a lot of conversation about that through November.
Yeah, Adam Silver obviously is not stupid. He's not stupid. But that was a really stupid thing for him to say.
Agreed.
And it played right into the bias against basketball that I've heard for decades, which is none of it matters to the last 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know? And by saying that, you kind of would say, yeah, that's all it really
You
matters.
walked back years of work. Like, you've been spending years campaigning about the addition of the NBA Cup, these hard penalties on teams for resting players or load management, right? You've put all this in to work for 3 years. And now it's... but you could just watch the highlights online. Oh, you didn't see the Kings play whoever because it was on Amazon Prime, Peacock, something or another? It's fine. We got a 9-minute highlight package that primarily shows the other team, by the way. But Kings fans, just be happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very, very tone deaf. And I think before you speak, Adam.
Yeah.
Just think before you speak.
People are also going to be wondering when Shaq and Kenny and Ernie and Chuck on.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be an issue. Because that's kind of backloaded, is my understanding.
Sure.
They'll be on a little bit early, but then they're going to go away, and then they'll be back later in the year.
And that's where I think the NBA needs those 4 more than they realize they do.
I agree.
Because they need to reestablish a sense of normalcy, because everybody's going to be watching that show with, is the vibe different at all? Because the 4 of those guys, if they can deliver with a different set and a different channel, whatever logo's in the background, but if those 4 guys can have the same fun that they had on TNT for years and get us into that sense of normalcy, it won't be a conversation anymore and everything will be fine. But if it doesn't feel like Chuck can be Chuck, or Shaq and Chuck can have their banter, or Ernie is Ernie, like, I think that's going to set off a lot of alarm bells, because people love their routine and people love normalcy. And the NBA shaking that foundation too much will turn a lot of people off.
Yeah. I think they did for the NBA something similar to what Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow did for the Giants.
Agreed.
You know, they were kind of like, hey,
Great
come
example.
on in. I'll show you what's going on
Great
here.
example.
Yeah. Although Mike Krukow, you know, with that Krukade, you know, hey, let me tell you. I got to tell you, Justin Verlander, he might win 30 games next year. You know, Krukow gets a little, sometimes...
A little.
Right, Jay? He gets a little over the top sometimes.
Maybe over the top. Whoa, that boy's bleeding orange.
Yeah, he is.
As they should.
I know.
We can.
I know. They do a great job. Cooper Flagg's going to be a big story, is he not?
Ugh.
I'm not saying I'm a big fan. I'm just saying it's going to be a big story.
The last taste of Sacramento Kings basketball we have is that team getting embarrassed on national television against the Dallas Mavericks, who won that play-in game and then got Cooper Flagg. just gross.
Bro, you got a lot of issues, don't you?
Yes, I cover the Sacramento Kings. Of course, I have a lot of issues.
Just went to a dark place on the A's.
Yes,
and I didn't mean to bring you back.
I am
down.
a Kings, A's, and Raiders fan. I don't know what happiness is.
Raiders?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently Max Crosby's going to be a Dallas
this.
Cowboy now, or the Dallas Cowboys want Max Crosby. Fine, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Just be the farm system of the league.
Some of that is not your fault, but some of it is. All right, let's be honest.
Yeah,
some of that's your choices.
I blame my uncle.
Yeah. Okay. So Cooper Flagg is not going to be a big
No,
story.
yes, he is. Like, I'm very intrigued about what Cooper Flagg looks like, right, and the hype around him, and he really, like, he was already on the map, but how he performed with Team USA a couple of years ago when he got the invite to Team USA's camp, and you were seeing all these videos of, like, he's crossing up the stars, he's scoring on everybody. So, like, Dallas has something intriguing there to where you talk about a fan base that's been on the emotional roller coaster of all roller coasters with the sudden trade that I still don't believe is real with Luka being traded.
You don't
in the
believe
middle of the
it's
season.
real?
I mean, I know it is, but when Shams put that tweet out and everybody thought he got hacked, right? It was just
but
such
you
a
just think there was something hinky about it? Is
no.
that what
I'm still wrapping my brain around how did the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic and how did this happen in the NBA? It's absurd. It's insane. But I'm very intrigued in Cooper Flagg. I'm intrigued of what that Dallas Mavericks team looks like, and I'm just intrigued in the Western Conference in general because I'm having a hard time finding a team that can take OKC off that pedestal that they've put themselves on.
Denver. I think Denver could.
Maybe. Like, when Nikola Jokic is off the floor, that team is a completely different team, and Jokic can't play 48 minutes a night.
I like, and I know he's having problems fitting in, but I like Cam. I like the addition of Cam Johnson a lot. Getting Bruce Brown back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like what they're doing.
And Jamal Murray's always a question mark in terms of health. Look, Jokic might win another MVP, and he's a phenomenal.
Christian Brown got his extension.
Yay.
He's a dynamo.
Yay.
He's like Brendan Pajemski if he was actually good.
But if we were to say the Denver Nuggets are our hope of the OKC Thunder not completely running the West, does that make anybody feel good?
It makes me feel good, but I understand your point. Not everybody sees it the same way I do. What about Minnesota? What about the Lakers? I think LeBron's drama is going to be a story this year.
Number
one
one.
of the big stories.
Yeah.
I think if he has his way, he's going to make sure everyone knows that I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be here. Or
how bad do you want me?
Yeah, yes.
Tell me how much you love me, and maybe I'll stick around.
I'll throw another part of it, too, a little cherry. I don't think he's going to be with the Lakers next year. So I think he's definitely going to play that part. Just what you're talking about, how bad do you want me? I think he's definitely going to get to the point of somewhere along the line this season, we'll find out. You know, he won't verbally say it, but we'll find out, like, I'm out.
Right.
On the spot, gut shot, what jerseys are you wearing next season then?
Wherever his son Bryce goes.
When I've had to answer this before, I go a little bit off the board. I know they've been trying to figure out a way for years to get him. Warriors.
God, I hate it.
I'm going Cleveland. I think the
that
NBA
makes a ton of sense.
The NBA finds a way to get Bryce to Cleveland one way or another.
And the retirement tour is in Cleveland.
And it's there or Miami. I don't think LeBron wants to add another jersey to his resume.
Maybe wherever he goes, there's going to be a game where it's the LeBron and his two sons, and they're starting the same game.
Of course.
And they lost by 30.
Yeah, but it's so special for me. It's so great because I have a son, and I just can imagine what it would be like to play with my son in the NBA. I'm sick of it already, and it hasn't happened yet.
And we'll do 6 camera shots of the Griffey sitting courtside. Like,
Right.
why are we here?
Right. Where do you think he's going to go?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. Just, I hope it's not the Warriors because gross, but.
Yeah, probably not. But
wherever he wants to, the answer is wherever he wants. Like, he will be able to move, and the NBA will work with him. LeBron, play one more year. You can go wherever you want. They'll make it happen wherever it is.
Yeah.
Bring the king to the Kings, huh?
Yes, it's where his career started. Why shouldn't his career end here?
There is would be a hilarious scenario in my head of team, like, agents tell team, don't draft Bronny, don't draft Bryce because we want him to go to this, and the Kings just go. Scott Perry just goes, no, we're taking Bryce.
Yeah.
Come on over, LeBron. We'll call your bluff.
Well, that's kind of like the Kobe thing. When Kobe and his agent told teams don't draft him, Jerry Reynolds says, we were going to draft him. If we had a shot, we were going to take it.
Should have.
Yeah.
That's why they knew. Why they jumped ahead.
Yeah.
It's Cupcake.
Try this on. LeBron is going to retire. Then he's going to end up with the Las Vegas Jacks in a few years, expansion team. He's going to come out of retirement to play for them.
Bill Russell style, baby.
While he's the owner.
I like the Las Vegas Jacks.
Thank you.
I like that.
Uh-huh.
Because aces are taken. You got to do something. Chips? Las Vegas chips?
Sure.
The slots? The 777s?
Uh-huh.
The gambling addictions?
Yeah. You got to be careful there.
Huh?
It gets slippery right away.
Yeah. Brought to you by FanDuel.
Let's see. Family Schlegel weighing in here in the YouTube chat. The Lakers have a really good rotation of players this year.
Well, there's a lot of question marks, as there's with every team. Like Gabe Vincent, Stockton's own, shout out, has been balling out for the Lakers in preseason. And his health was like, I remember when the Lakers went out and got Gabe Vincent after the big season he had in Miami. And everyone's like, what a good get. And then he just wasn't very good, kind of got hurt and kind of fell out of the rotation there. But Gabe Vincent could be a huge boost for them off the bench. And I'm a fan of Rui Hachimura. I like what he brings to that team. You got Luka Doncic, so you already got a chance. LeBron's just waiting in the wings. I think JJ Redick's a good basketball coach. I know he annoys people and he just kind of has this attitude, but I think JJ Redick is a really, really good basketball coach. So I don't want the Lakers to succeed, of course, duh. But like the Lakers are one of those teams where if you were to tell me they end up top 3, top 4 in the West, wouldn't be shocked at all.
Did Gabe Vincent make a big shot late in that game Friday against the Kings and then give him the raised eyebrow? Maybe he was just
he had a ton of shots, period. But that was the game against the Kings was the second game in a row where he was on fire.
Really?
Just could not miss. And it was him versus Keon Ellis in the shootout.
Emidrock says LeBron will retire and promote shoe inserts to help with sciatica. If he does, I might look into those myself.
You've heard the Peja Stojakovic and Andrei Stojakovic good feet commercial, right? Everybody needs a good feet.
Yeah, going back to, you remember the old Vlade and
Peja
ones?
Oh, yeah. So maybe there's a future there for LeBron.
Mandy Too Legit. I think Westbrook might be that spark needed to make this Kings team stay locked in for the full 48. Provides that dog mentality, 150% effort, gritty, and not scared of anyone, and will chirp back.
Yes. Russell Westbrook, I've been harping on this forever because, of course, on the court matters for Russ. But Jay brought this up last time I was here, too, and we talked about this last week I think that was before the Russ stuff was official. What Russ brings to this team, personality, attitude, and the consistency of the way he approaches the game and plays, that is why he is here. Like the way Russell Westbrook plays, you really can't question. You can question other guys of are they going to play 110%. That's who Russ is naturally. And if you see Russ playing hard and you see player X who's next to him and is not given 100%, you'll see it. It'll be obvious to everyone, and we don't have to call that player out because Russ will do it for us. So that's why Russell Westbrook is here. He's going to have erratic moments. He's going to have moments where he is ice cold from 3-point range, but he's also going to have moments where there's that clip from when he was on the Nuggets last year in the playoffs, and he gets the dunk, the technical foul at the end of that game, and it's an elimination game, and the ref tees him up, and he does the tee motion back at the ref and throws and turns to the crowd and says, "Get him out of here, send him home." Like if he has a moment like that in the Golden One Center, the place is going to erupt. Like that we need that energy. The Kings need that energy, and they need to get a little bit meaner. So I'm for it.
My fear is that one of the things that you mentioned, you mentioned two things, and my fear is that one will undercut the other. That is, yes, without question, he has always played with everything he's got. And it's rare. There aren't a lot of guys about whom you can say that. He always plays hard. But he also, you said missing shots. Okay, but sometimes he takes bad shots.
100%.
Yeah, really bad shots. And sometimes, you can't just, wow, that was a bad shot. Yeah, but he's playing hard. No, that don't cut it. So I'm not worried about that, but it is a concern with Russ. I think it's been for years a concern with Russ.
You are 1,000% correct. And there are going to be those moments where it's, Russ.
Yeah.
Russ. And Russ is going to have many of those moments where you're going, no, yes, or no. Oh, come on. Like that's just who he is. And he's been that way since he was an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Right? He's always just had that erratic side to him. And it can lose you games. I think
since he's been in the league, honestly.
Yeah, and it can lose you games for sure. I'm not pretending everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows on the floor. And there is a natural concern of the Sacramento Kings already are a team that you're questioning, can they be efficient shooting from three? Like they won that last preseason game against the Lakers. Thank God. Give you a little bit of momentum going into the season. But nobody could miss that night. When you have nights like that, you better win because like the Kings in the preseason shot 29, 30, 31% from three. That's going to be who this team is, and Russ ain't helping with that.
Yeah. I know one of the games they lost, I think it was the one before that.
The
third
Clippers?
Yeah. And I think Doug said, it was one of the games, if not that one. He said, look, we didn't shoot the ball well, and that affected us defensively.
That was the Clippers game.
So I know sometimes, when the ball's going in, everything seems easier. I just thought against the Lakers, the offense, even without Domas, it had a lot more flow. And maybe some of that is when the ball goes in, you play with more energy. But the ball in the half court had a lot more energy against the Lakers for whatever reason.
So that leads to, I think, an uncomfortable conversation that we might not have enough time in this segment to have, but it revolves around DeMar DeRozan and can Doug Christie, as a first-time head coach on a prove-it deal, possibly, realistically, ask DeMar DeRozan to come off the bench? Like, that's the conversation that I think at some point will need to be had during this season. It's not because DeMar is the problem. It's not. But I don't think it's a coincidence that it doesn't have to be Neek Clifford starting for him, although Neek looked fantastic with his 7 assists. He played really, really well. He had a really good preseason in general, and everybody gets excited about the new guy. But the way DeMar is on offense does not fit, I think, with the flow of the way that starting unit wants to play. That doesn't mean DeMar's the problem. It's styles of play. But DeMar off the bench as I'm going to go and get you a bucket because I'm concerned about the scoring of that second unit. And then most importantly, if it's the fourth quarter of a close game, we know DeMar's in and we know he's getting the ball. That's fine. That doesn't have to change. But starting the game with DeMar on the bench, I think could help kickstart that offense in a way that inspires the defense to play as close to 48 minutes as possible. We're maybe not there yet after a preseason game. But I think that's a conversation that's going to have to happen at some point this season.
Well, we will continue that conversation when we come back with Matt George today on Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm a plumber and needed to get work in the door.
So business was going down the drain?
Yeah, I went to Staples. They printed yard signs, business cards, even flyers to leave at supply stores.
But at what cost, man?
Well, I saved $125 on my order, and now I'm booked solid. Boom!
Back at ya. For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online. Ends 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. Stockton.com. License number 635355.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Matt George is with us today. How'd he get in? I don't know. But, you make the best of it.
There's a leak. There's a leak.
And we're very happy to have you, especially on this opening day of the NBA season. I know the Kings opener is tomorrow, but thanks for helping us out again today. We appreciate it.
I'm just happy to be here.
So many things going on.
Hey, it's the greatest time of year, right? It's the best time of year. October is the best sports month. Late October is the best time. We've got an incredible World Series that we're looking forward to. We've got, NFL action just in the thick of it now. We're in the rhythm and the flow. And the Raiders are on a bye week, so I'm spared embarrassment this week, which is great. And then we got Kings basketball starting, the NBA starting. It's great.
Jay, don't we have a limit as to how many times somebody on the show can mention the Raiders? Because he's at 2 already.
Yeah,
can that
be pretty
it?
close. Remember, I'm controlling mics today, so I almost damn near cut him off again.
Raiders. Okay, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Great.
Twice in the first half hour.
I don't want to. I don't want to have to.
Slap them around. Boy, they got embarrassed this week.
We scored as many points as they did, guys. Our football team scored as many points as them. Congrats.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't follow that.
No.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah.
Our football team.
I got you. Our football.
We scored as many points as they did.
Yeah. That was a rough one.
Boy, they got embarrassed.
You were talking about
normal, though.
Change the subject for some reason to the Raiders. You were talking about DeMar DeRozan and the Kings going forward. Do you really think it's time? Will that fly, a player of his caliber? Can anybody with the Kings ask DeMar DeRozan, hey, what about coming off the bench?
I don't think it's time yet because, again, we can't – making that decision after one preseason game is tough. And to be fair, the Clippers game in Sacramento, the only good part of that game was the first 5-6 minutes, which DeRozan was a part of. The Kings got off to a 16-8 start, and then everything completely fell apart when they went to their bench in that game. So it's kind of a twofold thing. It's like, can you improve your bench with DeMar? Yes. And can your offensive flow look better with your starting unit with DeMar out? I think the answer is yes, just naturally, the way he plays. But it's easy for us to go, just move him to the bench. It's a fantasy basketball roster, and we just hit a button, and now he's a bench player. It's easy for us to do that. But for Doug Christie to have to look DeMar DeRozan, a first ballot Hall of Famer, in the eye as a first-time full head coach and go, hey, bud, I need you to come off the bench for this team to give us the best chance to win. That's not an easy conversation to have. And no matter what, Doug will get ridiculed for that. If it works, he'll look like an absolute hero. But if the Kings move DeMar DeRozan to the bench, think of the national headlines. The silly Sacramento Kings now disrespecting DeMar DeRozan, moving him to the bench. DeMar should get out of there.
Right.
That's the narrative he has to
promote. He deserves
with.
better than that clown franchise.
Right. So there's weight to a decision like that. And once you have that conversation, it's hard to walk back.
Do you know if he was asked to come off the bench last year? It was, if not reported, it was suggested. I tend to think it was broached, or maybe someone asked him, how would you feel about that if someone asked you? But do you have any idea whether that actually happened or not?
I never got a feeling that was ever a realistic possibility.
Okay, fair enough.
And there was so much craziness going on in general and instability, it's like, let's not add fuel to the fire and potentially tick off DeMar DeRozan even more.
I believe that's what Kyle Draper feels as well. It's like that. He said that there's no way that didn't happen.
And I don't know if it could happen this year. I know fans are calling for it, or at least some vocal minority of fans are like, try it, give it a shot. There's a reason why it worked in LA, but you need more than a preseason game to probably do that with confidence. You're not doing that tomorrow, that's for sure.
What do you think of this? If I'm running the Kings and I'm thinking, hey, at some point I may want to move DeMar if I want to get younger. So if that's my plan, we don't know if that's the plan or not. Certainly looks like it might be. Do you think DeMar coming off the bench and showing he can do that, would it increase or decrease his trade value?
That's a phenomenal question. I think
if he's able to show, I'm not crazy about it, but I can come off the bench, I would think maybe, depending on the suitors, maybe his value actually goes up.
I think initially his value would go down because it's confirmation of he's not part of your future.
Yeah, you can't start on that team.
We know it. And, well, it's not even that. It's like we know how valuable DeMar DeRozan is, but we also know he's not part of your future, so we don't feel we have to pay you close to top dollar.
Right.
But if DeMar shows he can succeed in that role, then Scott Perry could turn it around to the Cleveland Cavaliers, let's say. Oh, we're just one more bench scorer away from getting there, from really putting – and then the Kings could go, well, like, we don't have to trade DeMar because he's partially guaranteed next year. We can just figure it out. We're not going anywhere. It's no scratch off our back or whatever the term is. So, like, So I think it's completely dependent upon how DeMar plays. But the real answer to this entire question might be Scott Perry makes the decision easier on Doug by moving DeMar so that you don't have to worry about him coming off the bench or starting, period. And now, okay, green light. Nick Clifford, you're in. We'll just see how the rest of the season goes. But we're talking February, not now.
I'll say this about Nick Clifford. He's been phenomenal, and I know there has been a lot of scuttlebutt, if you will. I don't know if the kids say that anymore, but there's been a lot of talk about. Yeah, I know. Maybe, wow.
You asked a question, so I answered it for you.
I know. I appreciate it. He should play point guard, and he can play point some, but that's fine. But I'll also point this out. If you have a basketball team where you have a point guard and then you have other players on the floor that are good passers, there's a lot of upside to that. You don't have to just say, he's the best passer, let's make him a point guard.
Of course. And when you can run traditional point guards off the ball more, that was a big thing with De'Aaron Fox, right? One of the reasons why there was such an argument to start Malik Monk is, Malik can handle the ball so Fox can run off ball a little bit more. You can get him on some cuts, get him on some actions, take some of that pressure off of him. Really, there's the guy who brings the ball up the floor, and then there's the guy that gets you into the offense. That's the most important responsibility of a point guard. Who gets you into the offense? And I would argue when Domantas Sabonis is healthy, getting the Kings into the offense is essentially getting Domantas Sabonis the ball in the spot and then starting the set. Like, that is the responsibility of the point guard on the offensive end. When you have multiple guys that can pass and move the ball around, especially what Doug talks about on offense.
It's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah.
And Doug talks about the ball has energy. The ball has energy, right? We see these touch passes and the ball moving around, and it's like it's poetry to watch. That's what the Kings did in the early 2000s.
Sure.
Greatest show on court.
Yeah.
It's because the ball has energy and everybody's moving and everybody's feeding, right? Neek Clifford is someone that I think can naturally fit into that. Neek hit a couple of gorgeous passes in LA. And having a guy that's 7 foot, 6'5", 6'8", doesn't matter. If you can pass the basketball, you're extremely valuable in the offense that Doug Christie wants to run.
Neek has that knack. Yes, he does.
Nice.
Now, I understand. My sources tell me that you're a little uncomfortable with the terms of Coach Christie's contract.
Yeah, I'm spooked by it. When Sam Amick's article in The Athletic came out, and it was kind of tucked in there a little bit because it was about Russell Westbrook.
Right.
And then he was the point of the paragraph where it talks about Doug's contract was just how the Kings are a team that's trying to prove it, a bunch of guys that are trying to prove it, and that includes Doug Christie. And here's the details of his deal. He's got 2 years that are guaranteed at $2 million a year. $2 million a year is nothing for a head coach, by the way, but whatever. It's not my money. I don't care. The third year is for way more money, but it's a team option. I'm thinking, okay, that sounds pretty traditional. Okay, so this is a classic prove it contract. First-time head coach, prove it. Great. So why does this bother me? Oh, what happens in 2 years? DeMar DeRozan is off the books. Zach LaVine's off the books. In 2 years, we've been talking about all summer, that's your reset. Well, now you've hedged your bets if you're the Sacramento Kings. If you're Scott Perry, you've hedged your bet to where my reset can now involve my head coach. And we obviously love Doug for the connections that he has in this community, his history as a player. But just from a coaching standpoint, you talk about the importance of establishing culture, establishing identity. That's what this year is all about. How can you hope to establish any sort of culture and identity with any consistency in this city and in this league if you continue this trend of revolving doors of head coaches over the last almost 20 years?
Yeah, it's a good point. And it's possible that Scott Perry, that's why he was so amenable to, all right, Doug's going to be the coach. And I know he said, we scoured the countryside looking for a new coach, but it ended up being the guy who was already here. And maybe part of it for him was, look, that's fine for now, but I want some time to evaluate this.
Yeah, and I do believe that Scott Perry hired Doug Christie. I do believe it. There's always, and this is ownership put themselves in this situation because of their involvement. Ownership has allowed there to always be this layer of uncertainty of whose decision was that. Like, we know whose decision it was to bring Zach LaVine here. Let's not pretend it was Monty McNair's. But there's always going to be this era of, did Scott Perry hire Doug? Was Doug forced upon him when he took the job? Like, I believe wholeheartedly from conversations that I've had with Scott on and off the record that he hired Doug Christie. But this contract clearly gives Scott an out of,
that's all I'm saying.
If your guy doesn't work,
right,
I can go find a new guy. And while I guess that's good to have that flexibility, again, that's kind of counterproductive to establishing a culture.
Maybe, yeah, but Doug's still going to have every opportunity to show, what
for
he
sure.
can do. Yeah.
He's going to have opportunity with a roster that arguably your general manager never would have put together in the first place. And the fact
hopefully that won't be his roster the full time the first 2 years of his deal.
But it's very unlikely that maybe you can move on from DeMar DeRozan this year. I don't think Zach LaVine's going anywhere for the next 2 years. So Doug and now Zach are like this. And we know how Scott Perry feels about Zach LaVine as a winning basketball player. So there's a little creeping of doubt that concerns me.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly set up in such a way where, the Kings have some flexibility if they choose to exercise it.
Sure.
Let me say this. There's two things on the burner. Excuse me as I clear my throat here. There's two things on the burner.
Can we come back with it, Jay?
Yeah.
Come right back with it?
Yeah, because there's two things I vehemently disagree with one of the things that both of you guys are talking about. And then one of the things when it comes to the 2-year version of where the Kings should be in 2 years.
All right, we're right back with that next. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer. Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
With Matt George today.
Hey!
We're getting ready for the Kings opener tomorrow night. Of course, the NBA tipping off the season. I was going to say how many seasons. I realized I don't know. What is it, like 80?
41.
Huh?
In Sacramento?
No.
NBA?
NBA.
Oh, I have no idea.
They just had the 75th, so 81 years. I don't know. But we were just talking about, first of all, DeMar DeRozan, his role in this team, and Matt George brought up Doug Christie's contract, which in The Athletic, Sam Amick detailed last week. Doug Christie, 2 years at $2 million a year guaranteed, then a third year at a team option where the rate goes up. And so Matt was saying, and I agree with you, it looks like the Kings, maybe Scott Perry has some built-in flexibility there. But, Jay, I know there was something that we said that you wanted to push back on, so push.
I think it's actually a combination of both. And for me, and maybe I worded it wrong going into the break, it's what we've been asking for. And when I say we, I mean Kings fans, the kingdom. What people have been asking for here is something that Matt touched on is, not always in flux, right? Mm-hmm. And the way the present has been presented to us is Scott Perry is not flux. Scott Perry is a constant.
And all that.
He is stability. Mm-hmm. He is stable.
Right.
He is somebody that's gonna be here. And so what I'm asking and what I'm hearing and trying to get further details is this. You know how you get DeMar DeRozan to come off the bench? As if the organization gets DeMar DeRozan to come off the bench. If Scott Perry, just like he's been doing, you have to give him credit. Summer League, here at press conferences, people having conversations, him having, I'll pull back the curtain, him having conversations with media here, taking lunches, coming on the morning show, coming on our show, all these other things.
Yeah.
Then do what you need to do, Scott.
Sure.
BJ and family. You come together, and if you believe that is something that needs to be done for the greater good of this squad, this organization, then you know what you do? You don't put all that smoke on Doug Christie. You don't put all that smoke on Vivek. You come together as one, and you say, we, the Sacramento Kings, are saying DeMar DeRozan is bringing his ass off the bench.
Yeah.
And that's the problem when we have these conversations. And when you allow Sam Amick, shouts out to Sam, friend of the show, when you allow Sam Amick to write that in his article.
When who allows him to write that?
The organization. If you bring stability, absolutely. If you bring stability to the table, then you won't have to answer those questions. Matt George won't be uneasy.
Yeah.
We won't have these conversations about DeMar. Well, can we get DeMar to come off the bench? Yeah, absolutely. DeMar, either you coming off the bench or you getting your ass up out of here. How about that?
Well, that's a great point you raised, but it's tricky.
It's not, though. See, I disagree.
For a player of his caliber, even if it's the whole organization, it's still tricky.
Well, let me say this. Carmelo did it. Allen Iverson did it. And I can move on further and further. It wasn't tricky when them people was. You know what happened? Allen Iverson said, man, I'm out of here. I don't want to come off the bench. But Denver told him point blank period, either you coming off the bench or you can leave. He said, I decided to retire. How many times did we talk about that with Carmelo? We got somebody that's sitting right here who just jumped on the Sacramento Kings that had that conversation, Russ Westbrook. None of that stuff was tricky in them organizations.
It's tricky for the Kings because he's an asset that they're trying to get value for.
But see, hence why you bring up the question is if we come together and if we move together, then DeMar DeRozan, tricky asset or not, it won't be that tricky because then you can propose the question, at least in my mind. I'm not speaking in positive, reals and not. But I'm saying in my opinion, I come to the table and say, hey, listen, this guy's a 6 man for our squad. Doesn't mean he's going to be for you.
This is where I completely agree with Jay because he used the word we, and we suggests unity. And I can only speak from myself. I went into this offseason dark cloud in my thoughts of the future of the Sacramento Kings. Where's this organization going? Even when we heard about Scott Perry being hired, the way Scott was hired, I had a problem with because there were no interviews, there was no search. And we were hearing about Scott Perry while Monte McNair had still not signed his papers and still had not cleaned out his office, right? So this was obviously in the works for a while, which alarm bells, meddling from ownership. We've seen this again and again and again. So I even had an issue with how Scott Perry was hired. But when I heard Scott's first press conference, I walked out of Scott's first press conference and he laid out like his 6 or 8 traits of how he wants the Sacramento Kings to play. Felt good about it. I was like, okay, I'm willing to I think I'm willing to give this a fresh start. Scott hires Doug Christie. Immediately the questions, was Doug his hire? Was it placed upon him? We thought that was going to happen anyway. And then we have Scott Perry's press conference. And if you can win a press conference, Scott Perry and Doug Christie won that press conference. Because the entire focus for me of that press conference was their relationship and them working together.
Diversity of thought, unity of purpose.
Bing. That's what they talked about. And to me, I left that going, I am now willing to embrace this new era or give this organization the fresh start because I believe in the two of them working together in a showing of unity that Monte McNair and Mike Brown never had. We talked about this before. Mike Brown would say defense, defense, defense. When we talked to Monte McNair 2 times a year, he'd say offense, offense, offense. There was a clear disconnect. So what Jay is saying is 100% right. If there is a we behind it, it's not Doug Christie's decision that DeMar DeRozan's going to the bench. It's the Kings organization's decision backed by Scott Perry and hopefully backed by ownership as well. And we don't hear the whispers of, well, this guy disagrees with this guy and there's disconnects. That's the problem.
Right.
And we got to get past that.
To Jay's point, we don't know who leaked that information.
No.
And it could have been somebody who does not have the organization's best interest at heart. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Could be somebody's like, hey, what's going on here? So we don't know.
Could be close.
You're right. An organization's better served if you keep all that in-house. As far as Doug's contract, and Matt, clearly anybody can see what you're talking about and how you look at it, and it's like, So I understand what you're saying. That said, all things considered, I look at it and I say, I see why that's the way it's said. I can see why Doug would say, well, it's not ideal, but okay, I'll do that. And I see why Scott Perry would go, let's give you a couple years here and then, we'll see. It makes sense. I understand it. I understand your trepidation, but I think everybody could end up winning here.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Everything could work out great, and that's the hope.
I get your point.
If the Kings win, everybody wins, right? And that's what we should be rooting for is success for everybody, even the guys that we don't necessarily believe in here in Sacramento. If it works out, then great. Then we can solve a new problem of, oh, wait, this worked. Now we got to change the plan because it worked before we expected it to. But Jay can speak on this better than I can, too. Doug wouldn't, I don't think, want it any other way. Like, Doug is like, yeah, I'll prove it to you. Doug signed that contract knowing full well maybe this is not the best. He's represented by Clutch. You don't think they knew what they were getting into?
Death row, baby. That's death row.
And Doug's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm not worried about that third year. I'm not worried about $4 million over the first 2 years because that third year in my mind I already cashed that check and I'm already signing my next contract. That's how Doug is and Doug operates because he's a competitor and we love that from him. The part that's just nerve-wracking to me is this is a lot for any coach to take on, let alone a first-time head coach. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong that I would not blame Doug Christie for one bit. I don't think there's any way that Doug Christie this season, barring them being horrendous on the floor, where Doug Christie can fail. I think he can really only succeed or the Kings roster as constructed can fail. But he's being tied to these two names that we all believe are not part of the future, and his contract lines up with them. That's concerning to me.
You're right. The way I read it, though, and I could be wrong, but the way I read it, trying to figure out how this all fits, is Doug has his way that he wants to play up-tempo at both ends of the floor. We'll just leave it at that. It's not that simple, but that's what it boils down to. And then he's got players on the roster that have never really done that. So to me, that shows that, all right, the organization is behind him and the way he plays.
Sure.
That's more important to them than the guys on the team. So in that sense, I think they see Doug as the coach beyond like DeMar DeRozan's time here.
But they have this year.
Maybe Domas's too. I don't know.
This year they have over $70 million in salary committed to two players that we don't think fit that.
Right.
Maybe Doug can get the best out of them. And I've already seen, like, Zach LaVine impressed the heck out of me in preseason. I thought Zach, how he's shooting, great. Carrying over from last year. Love to see that. But the effort that Zach LaVine was making on defense, and I noticed this during training camp. We saw it a couple times during the preseason games. But in training camp, he took the ball from Devin Carter on a one-on-one situation, deflected a pass. Even if it doesn't result in a steal, it knocks an offense off rhythm, which is a big deal for the Kings if you can disrupt in any kind of way an opposing team's rhythm. Like, I'm seeing buy-in from LaVine, and I know DeMar DeRozan's a total pro. So I'm not saying the two of them are going to drag him down, but you have this vision that you want to execute. You have players that don't necessarily fit that vision on paper, and they're tied together. Like,
no, I think you're right. A lot of it hinges on what Zach LaVine does,
right.
How he responds to what Doug's trying to teach him. If he responds to it, it's like, man, great job.
And Kings fans just have to trust me on this. Like, I'm not trying to be a used car salesman and sell you something that's not true. Zach, I've seen more from Zach defensively in the 3 weeks since media day than we saw at any point with him in the Kings last year, and that I can remember seeing at any point in his career. I believe Zach LaVine is completely bought in. What happens 30 games in if you're 10-20? We'll see. Or what happens when your shots aren't falling? We'll see. But Zach's showing it to me. I have more confidence in Zach than I've ever had before.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll ask you to be a little patient. We'll get to the phones when we can here. I know some people have been calling in. When we come back, the one thing the Kings have going for them that doesn't get talked about enough with Matt George. Next, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
The greatest show on dirt returns to Stockton Dirt Track. October 31st and November 1st. It's the 42nd annual tribute to Gary Patterson. 2 nights of all-out racing to the finish, crowning the 2025 champions on dirt. Tickets now at StocktonDirtTrack.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
For 77 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 77th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Hey. Opening day for the NBA, opening night anyway. So we got 2 games tonight, right, Matt George? Matt George with us today.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Rockets, Thunder, and the Lakers and your beloved Warriors.
Forget
Alan
that
Stiles' beloved Warriors.
Yeah, that's better. Forget the second game. Actually, that game's going to be entertaining too. What a great matchup. I mean, the NBA knew what they were doing. OKC Houston, I think, is going to be an incredible playoff series. The dawning of the Durant era in Houston, but I love the way Houston plays. Like, I love the way that they have really taken on the personality of Ime Udoka and just how big of jerks they are. The loss of Dylan Brooks is going to be interesting, how much of that edge they lose with Dylan now in Phoenix.
Kings will see him tomorrow night,
Kings will see him tomorrow night for sure. But, I love the way that Rockets team plays. There's a lot that Doug Christie wants to embody, I think, from Ime Udoka's Rockets, and OKC is just OKC. So I think that game's going to be a very fun matchup tonight.
Who's better, Şengün or Sabonis?
Sabonis.
Wow, you didn't even think about that.
No, that conversation is silly. Do the comparison numbers. They're not even close. Şengün is young.
He has more upside.
Yes, because he's 6 or 4 years younger or something like he better or he's in big trouble. But Domantas Sabonis, if one-on-one comparisons, it's not close. Domantas Sabonis is a better player than Alperen Şengün.
I was just looking at La Murray's projections for this season, and he makes an interesting point that somebody at ESPN also made. And obviously, the national members of the media, any chance they get, they put the boot to the Kings, right? Yeah.
But like a holiday.
Yeah. And he does rank them 16th right now in the NBA for what that's worth. He has his tiers, and they're in a tier that you don't want to be in. Let me just double check what that is. It's a tier that you don't really want to be in.
It's the
yeah. I do expect the Kings to have the kind of talent advantages that will help them win about half the regular season games.
Yep.
That's interesting. And here's the point that to me is very interesting. He says Sacramento's not a playoff team, but its floor is high enough to stay in the mix simply because the Kings have so many scorers with a track record of strong availability. That's one thing the Kings have. DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis have appeared in 461 of a possible 492 games in the past 3 seasons, according to ESPN.
Meanwhile, the Sacramento Kings are down 2 starters.
I know. It's not a good time to make that point.
Dennis Schroder seems better. He didn't practice yesterday, and people were like, "Oh God, are we going to be down?" But he practiced today. Spoke with the media today, so I figured
he would.
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be good to go. But
I'd forgotten. But yeah, then I remember he twisted his ankle or got stepped on against the Lakers.
Your starting front court is out. So I hear what they're saying, but let's knock on all the wood available to us because health luck has been on the Kings' side in recent years. And here's the thing about Domantas Sabonis, right? He plays through everything. He is an absolute workhorse in that sense, where he's one of those guys that you have to protect against themselves because he's got this grade 1 hamstring strain that he's going to be reevaluated a week from. So this coming Saturday is when he'll be reevaluated. So it means he's out versus Phoenix. He's out versus Utah. But I'm sure he's got that Lakers game circled. And if you were to ask him right now, he's like, "Oh, I'm playing." But the King, a hamstring injury is one of those injuries that lingers throughout your career. It's no joke. And we've seen players miss weeks with a grade 1 hamstring strain just to be safe with it. Like Steph Curry didn't play the final few playoff games for the Warriors last year with a very, very similar injury. And it can turn into much worse. So you got to be careful with that. The Kings want Domantas Sabonis to play, of course. They need him to play. But it's game 3. It's game 4. Protect the guy.
One of the things that brought Mike Brown and the Kings chemistry together just in the blink of an eye his first year here at Beam Team 1 was, everything was preached about it's all for the team and everyone making sacrifices as all teams and organizations do when you're trying to build a culture. And for Domas to play through that thumb injury the way he did, that's a perfect example of it. It's one thing for people to talk about it. And Keegan also played through something similar that year, and it was not talked about.
Yeah, no, Keegan was banged up, for sure. De'Aaron Fox broke his finger in the playoffs and still tried to play through it. It wasn't the same player, but broke his finger in the playoffs and played through that. So, no, the Kings have always been a team that, I remember, this was before Mike Brown. De'Aaron Fox suffered a grade 3 ankle sprain, which is the worst level of sprain you can do before tearing ligaments or breaking your ankle. It's as bad as it gets. And we're talking, you can miss a month or more of time. And De'Aaron healed and was back in 3 weeks. And credit to the Kings have always had an amazing training staff from our guy Pete Youngman back in the day.
The great Pete Youngman. He listens quite often, I know.
Shout out Pete. Yeah. To the team they have now, they do a phenomenal job taking care of their players in Sacramento. They deserve a lot of credit for that. But again, I think part of the hard job of being a trainer or being a team doctor is telling an athlete who only knows I'm going to go out there and give it my all for my brothers, hey, bud, you got 82 games to worry about, not just this Sunday's game against the Lakers. So, but yeah, the Kings playing through injuries, that's always been a staple of this team. And going back to that Beam Team 1 year, the Kings only won the 3rd seed because the rest of the league wasn't healthy. The Kings weren't that healthy either. They just played through it.
Yeah, I remember that year doing an interview with Jordy on this station, and we were talking about Domas, and then Jordy said something about Keegan, and we were looking at each other, and which the other guy who was doing the show with me and we were saying, wait, what? And we asked him, what's this about Keegan? And Jordy's like, oh, he's fine. No, nothing. He
nothing. Said, whoops.
Yeah. No, he's fine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It was Rami. I was doing the show with Rami, actually. Kettles and Rami, yeah. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. TC's weighing in on Sactown Sports.
Mic check.
TC, say hello to Matt George.
Matt George, know what's up. That's my guy. What's up, bro?
What's up, TC? We're not talking Kyle Shanahan right now, are we?
Man, hell nah. Listen, man, no. We talking straight Kings. Man, cut it out. Listen, I'm not even. I told y'all how we was gonna do the Niners, bro. We gonna let it play out how it played out. If they win, they win, bro. If not, then we'll have a conversation at the end of the season, and we'll sit down and have a beer and talk about my explanation about why I don't like that guy, right? But that's another story. We talking Kings.
Yes.
Listen, I called on here and I talked about Doug and being a boss. And I said if it was me, Zach, that's why I was coming at Matt George when I kept talking about, Jay know what I'm talking about, why do you too, Trace, if you listening, having conversations about, bro, you're going to have to come off the bench, big dog. And I'm talking about DeMar, Zach. Check it out, man. If you don't like it, then we will find a place for you respectably. But, bro, I got enough respect for you because I'm going to have a conversation. At the end of the day, I'm the head coach. And head coaches have to have hard decisions like that. It has nothing to do with Hall of Fame status, this guy's a 20-point scorer. He might be mad. He's some comp. It ain't got nothing to do with none of that. It has something to do with the organization and the team moving forward, and them is the decisions that Doug Christie has to make. DeMar, big dog, I love you, but you're going to have to be a firepower off the bench, bro, because I'm starting this young dude in Neek, and we moving forward. This is how we moving forward, bro. You get me? And if you really have a problem, me, you, and Perry can sit down, and we'll find a spot for you. It's simple as that. I get what you're saying, Whitey, but it's bigger than that, Whitey. We ain't talking about some high school game or some Pop Warner. Like, this is an NBA team, and Doug has to make that move. If you moving like that, Doug, how you say you moving, then these are the conversations you got to have. Ain't come up here talking about we trying to do this and that, and you can't even have a man-to-man conversation with DeMar DeRozan because you scared. Come on, Doug. That's what I was talking about, Trey. That's all I got. I'm out. Mic check. Thank you, Jay.
TC.
All right, Matt.
My only thing about DeMar DeRozan is whatever you're doing with him, it definitely helps you if he's on board with it.
Sure.
I'm not saying you should be afraid of him. You know,
and I don't
want to hurt his feeling, but you definitely want him on board with whatever you're doing.
And DeMar DeRozan,
for your own sake.
From what I know about the guy, DeMar DeRozan is not one to be pulled into the office and start cussing at Doug Christie then if Doug made that decision. And there's the another one of Scott Perry's many sayings, the volunteers, not hostages, right? And
that's right.
We're not going to hold you hostage to this if you really don't want to be a part of it. But you're writing the end of the DeMar DeRozan era, whatever that is, by having this conversation, right? It's like, DeMar, we're moving forward. We think you can still help us win basketball games right now, but we're letting everybody know that this is the direction that we need to go in, and you're not necessarily the best fit with that. There's two sides to every coin, too, because while I said earlier the national media is going to stir up a storm like they always do of the Kings are disrespecting DeRozan and all this, there's also the side of, like, how about the respect for Doug Christie as a first-time head coach to make a decision like that? Especially if it works. Like, I think there'd be a large group of this Sacramento fan base that would respect the heck out of Doug. And what Perry needs to do, too, to go back to Jay's point, is if Doug at any point this season goes to Scott and says, we need to make this move, it makes sense from a basketball decision, Perry has to have Scott's back, or Doug's back. Like, Perry has to have Doug's back with the decisions that are made this year. Let your coach. You put together this roster. He knows how to put it out there in the best version possible. Have his back with whatever decision that he makes. And I think Perry will do that.
Why does DeMar DeRozan have to come off the bench in your view? Or why should he? And I'm not saying there is no reason, but let's just get right down to it. Why, in your opinion, does DeMar need to come off the bench?
I think it's twofold. I think the offensive rhythm and flow of that starting unit is better when DeMar DeRozan is not out there, because the way DeMar wants to play and the way the rest of the team wants to play, I don't think is synonymous. Like, we see an emphasis on Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine two-man game, a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of motion, and a lot of times DeMar's just kind of sitting there waiting to get the ball late in the shot clock in one of his spots to go to work.
It is similar to the Warriors. It's very much what the Warriors used to run, and it's based on, to your point, player movement and ball movement.
Right.
Yeah, and DeMar
is a luxury to have when you've got 10 seconds left on the shot clock and you're like, get me a bucket, and that's really important. And that's where it doesn't have to be a demotion as much as it is, I'm concerned about the offense of this second unit. And when Zach LaVine is off the floor, I have DeMar DeRozan, who I can run through, who can score me 8 straight points while Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine are getting a few minutes of rest. So DeMar can be the second unit. He can captain that second unit out there with Malik and Russell Westbrook, and it can be a little more your turn, my turn. I just feel like a lot of the Kings offense, when DeMar's on the floor, is, okay, Zach, you go. Okay, now I go.
Right.
Okay, Keegan, your turn. Like, that's not Doug Christie's offense or how he wants to run.
Right. You don't put as much pressure on the defense.
Right.
They basically know who it's going to and how, well, DeMar's got it, so unless he absolutely has to pass it, he's not gonna.
And I really think it's offensive related, because a lot of people go, well, DeMar doesn't play defense. Neither does half the roster. Like, are they
but he really doesn't.
Correct. He really does not.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you take DeMar DeRozan out and the Kings will infinitely be better as a starting unit defensively, unless it's like Neek is really good defensively or Keon Ellis is the guy that you put in there. I'm not saying, I think the defense would be better, but to me, the strength of this roster is on the offensive end and how they move the basketball and share the basketball. And DeMar doesn't fit that rhythm as much as I think the Kings hoped he would.
All right, you brought up defense. Matt George, nice enough to join us. Here to me is the problem with DeMar DeRozan defensively. And I know he's a Hall of Fame player. As I've said, he could miss every shot he takes from now to the end of his career. He's still a Hall of Famer. No question. But sometimes we talk about a guy who can guard multiple positions, or this guy can guard all positions. He really can't guard any of them.
Yeah.
Seriously, any positions, it's a mismatch for him. Any position.
Yeah, and I've heard the conversation, well, DeMar might be better suited defending the four. Brandon Nunes from the station has that belief, and I understand that from a quickness standpoint. DeMar's not the quickest. It's hard for him to stay in front of 2s and 3s. But as a 6'6"
he can't play the 4.
The Kings already have issues with shooters on the perimeter just shooting over the top of them.
Right.
DeMar DeRozan
depending on the matchup, but for the most part, in general, no, he cannot.
To be a 4 in the NBA nowadays, you have to be 6'8" to 6'10" and be able to space the floor and knock down threes. You're shooting over the top of DeMar the entire game. Plus, if you're beating him on backdoor cuts too, if you have any sort of athleticism. So, I wouldn't want DeMar DeRozan guarding Keegan Murray. I don't believe DeMar defending a 4. I don't believe DeMar defending anybody is good. I think you can, as a team defense, do enough to get away with it because he does so much on offense that it's a net positive. But DeMar as an individual defender is never going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, and that's just the reality of it.
Yes.
There's just really no way around
and
it.
It doesn't have to be insulting as much as it is player strengths. I'd say the same thing about James Harden. James Harden doesn't play a lick of defense, period. He is as lazy as it gets on the defensive end of the floor. But offensively, he's so unbelievably talented that it's a net positive when he's on the floor. You just live with it defensively. How many years did the Warriors, for lack of a better term, hide Steph Curry on defense? Steph's never been known as a good defender. He had Klay Thompson next to him, and Klay was a phenomenal defender as a 2. And then Steph is so unbelievably good on offense that his offense actually helps his defense because he runs so much and a guard is chasing him so much. The guard is exhausted by the time he gets the ball back.
He does. Speaking of Keegan, what do you think now that the dust has settled on these extensions? And I think we talked about this last week, but you had Paolo, the number 1 pick from 2022, 5 years, $239. Chet Holmgren, number 2 pick, 5 years, $240. Jabari Smith, number 3 pick, 5 years, $122. And then Keegan, number 4 pick, 5 years, $140.
Yeah.
And then back to Shaedon Sharpe. He was a number 7 pick, 4 years, $90. Dyson Daniels, a number 8 pick, 4 years, $100 million. Jalen Williams, number 12 pick, 5 years, $287. Aaron Nesmith just got 2 years, $40 million. Of course, I shouldn't mention him because he's from 2020. Christian Brown got 5 years, $125. And then the other Jalen Williams, 3 years, $24. So Keegan did pretty well.
Keegan did very well.
Yeah.
Shout out to his team. And I think his team leveraged the Sacramento Kings situation appropriately. I will say, regardless of the dollar figure, if you like it or not, 1, it's not your money. 2, when we get to year 3, 4, 5 of this contract, this Kings team hopefully will look very, very different. And the money is not going to hurt you the same way that Zach LaVine's money and Domantas Sabonis' money is hurting you now. So, we can get rid of that narrative. If you think it's an overpay, yes, it is an overpay. That being said, you got it done before the season started. It's not a conversation point anymore, and I think that's a huge part of this season. Get it out the way. Yeah. Keegan's going to be here. He's a tradable asset if you really feel like you need to move on from him. But Keegan and his team are also looking around and going, yo, we can demand this even with my client hurt, because if anything, my client being hurt is showing you that you have nobody else. And you rely on Keegan so much as a defender alone. You can't afford to not have him. And you can also look back at the history of the Sacramento Kings. That position, the wing, has always been weak for the Kings. You had Rudy Gay, which was great. You had, you've had
It's the
names.
curse of Peja is what you're talking about.
For sure.
Yeah.
But sprinkled in there, you've had John Salmons, Andres Nocioni, all these names that were, it's been hard to fill that position. Keegan leveraged I say Keegan, he didn't do any of this. His camp leveraged the situation properly. And Keegan has more value to Sacramento than he has anywhere else because of the way this roster is constructed. So Keegan can thank Monty McNair for never addressing that position because it got my man paid.
Keegan Murray helps your team win. And even if this year is not as much going to be about winning as we'd like, we'll see. You definitely want him on your team going forward.
And you look at this roster and you're like, what's the future of this roster? Keegan Murray is the first thing that jumps off the page. And if you're concerned like that makes me scared, that's not Keegan's problem. That's the organization's problem, because that means they've front-loaded their roster right now in terms of older guys, which we already knew. There is no future on this roster outside of Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, who the Kings will try and tackle that contract in February, March time.
I'm worried about him and how many minutes he's going to get here, by the way.
That's going to be a great conversation, too. That'll be a conversation for down the road. But when you talk the Sacramento Kings' future, it's Keegan Murray. And you also we talked about the X factors last time I was here, last week. Who's the X factor for the season? It's Keegan Murray. Pay him. You got it done. I'm glad you did.
Ryan Smith in the chat. Let's go LaVine and DeMar off the bench and let the young ones get some run.
Nope.
LaVine not coming off the bench.
Never.
No.
You're paying the man $50 million, and he is the tip of your spear offensively.
Yes.
Like, you do not succeed, period, if Zach LaVine's not your leading scorer on this team.
You need him averaging at least 26-ish a game. And I think before, I said 25. We need at least 26 a game.
You pushing it up?
Zach LaVine.
I think it's got to be 27 plus.
Let me ask you guys, because I'm not in the DeMar come off the bench group, right?
Okay.
And I totally understand why you guys are making some good points on why he should come off the bench. At this very moment, who would you guys, and I know you're going to have to shuffle, and I'm putting you guys on the spot. If DeMar's coming off the bench, then who's playing? Who's starting?
That's a phenomenal question. To me, I think it could be Neek, but that's a lot to put on.
You guys are ready to go with a rookie over DeMar DeRozan right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
That's the thing. And
by the way, I'm still starting DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
In spite of everything else I said, I'm still starting.
I'm starting DeMar DeRozan tomorrow. DeMar DeRozan's starting until, like, a preseason game does not give you enough to go, okay, DeMar, Hall of Famer, take a seat for the 24th overall pick to take your spot. We're not talking about, like, if the Kings had a top 6 pick, it's like the future is now.
Yeah.
That's not where they're at.
Yeah, I get it, and I think it's a really interesting conversation, and you can make a strong argument. Right now, I'm not there, but I think it's an interesting conversation.
That's why I think it's a conversation that'll come up down the road. I think there is a conversation to be had, Jay, about potentially Keon Ellis, but there's obviously size issues in conversation there.
You're going like 3 guards?
If you're moving Zach to the 3, you're already playing 3 guards. You're moving Zach to the 3. Keon's playing the 2, and this is assuming Keon is shooting like he did in LA, and he's shooting over 40% again, but he's added that shot off the dribble. That's what people don't talk about. That game that he had in LA, he hit 6 threes. I think 5 of them were off the dribble. That's a great sign.
Yeah,
so
he needs to play more.
He needs to play more, for sure. So I think I would humor that idea, Jay, but not yet. Not yet.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Let's see here, Benjamin. I would bring DeRozan off the bench, start Schroder, Westbrook, LaVine, Neek, and Eubanks tomorrow. That's tomorrow, he says. Tomorrow.
Who's shooting?
Schroeder shooting. LaVine and Westbrook.
So LaVine's shooting for sure, but LaVine better shoot 45% because that lineup ain't scoring.
They're not going to get a ton of rebounds either.
If you're the Suns, pack the paint. I dare you.
Yeah. Benjamin says Keon should be playing 30 minutes per game.
Keon might earn that again if he plays the way he plays. I was a little confused. I don't know if we want to go into this conversation now, but I was a little confused by there were back-to-back games, Game 2 and Game 3 of the preseason. Keon played 8 minutes.
I know. And I think we may have talked about this, and you may have suggested – it's a good point, and if it wasn't you, I apologize, but you may have somebody said, hey, maybe they kind of know what they have from him.
That's how I always felt. But that was me hoping.
You're right.
I was kind of trying to project that out into the universe. Like, Doug Christie knows Keon fits in. That's one of the best parts about Keon is he fits in any lineup. You know exactly what you're going to get with Keon, especially if he's shooting the basketball well. He fits with anybody. You can combo him with anybody. Malik, anybody. So I'm hoping that's the reason. But, like, I'm not saying turn on Doug Christie and get mad at Doug Christie the same way we were getting mad at Mike Brown. I'm huge team Mike Brown and always will be a Mike Brown fan and support Mike Brown. Mike got torn to shreds for the Keon Ellis stuff. Some of it fair, a lot of it unfair.
Even though he was the one who put him in the starting lineup.
Yes, and in Mike Brown's argument, Mike would be, I was the guy that gave the guy, I gave him the shot in the first place. That's always been Mike's argument. I've had many conversations with him about it. Mike made mistakes with that. But if we get into like 3 weeks into the season and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 games where Keon only plays 8 minutes, I'm very confused because you have to, it's a hard sell for me of, I couldn't play Keon because of matchups. Huh?
Right.
You're trying to play defense. Forget the matchup. Put Keon out there.
The only thing I'll say on the negative side for Keon, and it's not a him so much as I think fans, being fans, sometimes get carried away with, he can guard any position.
No,
he can't
No,
guard.
he cannot.
Like we saw that last year in Boston. And he's a good defender, and I recognize that. But let's not get carried away. Last year when they were in Boston and they tried to have him on Jaylen Brown, and he couldn't guard.
No, he guards
and
ones and
it's like, okay, well, that's tough assignment, but he can't guard up.
He guards
like
ones
that.
and twos, and what Keon Ellis does very, very well. His on-ball defense is great, but Keon Ellis plays passing lanes really, really well. So he's not guarding the three, but he's picking off the three's pass when they're trying to get it to the two.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he jumps in the lane. So he's not guarding the three, but he's making a defensive play. So he plays the passing lanes really, really well. That's one of the superpowers of Keon. There's also a risk element to it.
Right.
You gamble. If it doesn't pay off, now you're in rotation. Typically, it was a bucket. That was the problem Mike Brown always had. You're gambling too much. But Keon, I think, has shown he's worth taking those gambles because they work out enough times for it to be valuable. But yes, he has to guard the ones and twos. He can't guard the three.
If we agree that there are some pieces on this team that you want going forward, that you see as foundational pieces going forward, Keegan, if Keegan's one, I think Keon's one too.
Yes.
Without question.
Keon and Keegan are the future of this
Yeah.
team.
Yes.
And Neek, I guess. And Maxime, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's not Devin Carter. Sorry.
Giving up on Devin Carter.
Show me something to not give up on.
No, I'm with you. I mean, regardless of what you think or I think, it's pretty clear the organization is pretty much ready to move on.
The selection, and a lot of this isn't Devin's fault. There are things that Devin struggled with his rookie year in terms of like his diet and work ethic and things like that we've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug has made sure to point out he's in way better shape now. He's also finally had a training camp. Like you're talking about against the 8 ball coming into the league.
So let me take up the case for Devin Carter.
Yes, sir.
And I know it's kind of a lost cause, perhaps, if the Kings have already made up their mind. But how can you give up on a guy who has had, as you say, one training camp? Has he played enough games for you to even know what he is?
It's a great point. And you know what example I would use if I were defending your argument? I'd say, look at Davion Mitchell in Miami.
Look at Davion Mitchell in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good point, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know if I can counter that. I think it's just it's
the numbers crunch.
Yes.
Combined with the fact that the current regime inherited him.
Yes.
And they're looking for solutions to the logjam at guard.
And Monty drafted another point guard knowing full well he had plenty on this roster. And if Monty McNair were drafting Devin Carter to replace De'Aaron Fox, then that shows every reason why Monty McNair got fired. Like, that was never a good decision. And I know firsthand, because I've been told, when Devin Carter was drafted, De'Aaron Fox, another part of De'Aaron Fox was like, man, they must not want me here long-term anymore if they're bringing in another guard. That was the third guard they drafted in like 4 years. So it never made sense. It's not Devin's fault who selected him.
Yeah.
It's not Devin's fault that he had to miss time with his shoulder surgery. But, man, the league moves fast. And if you fall behind, you'll get left behind.
This is probably too convenient to be reality because I know it's not like we're trading, basketball cards here. But if you could move Devin Carter and you could get a wing, and when I say wing, I mean somebody like 6'7" or above, not another one of these, 6'5", 6'6" guys because you have so many. A wing, 6'7" or taller with some real promise, and maybe kind of but there's promise there. To me, that'd be worth doing. Then I'd feel like, okay. But
Are you talking about like on draft night or if you could do it right now?
If you could do it at any point here.
Well, see, I think they tried, and there's no market, period. We learned that this offseason. Everybody has scared money.
Yeah.
But Devin Carter doesn't have much of a market at all. He's going to be the sweetener that you try and attach on top of a trade and go, hey, here's this lottery pick that you can mold into something. Like, that's how he's going to be moved, is he's added on maybe to DeMar DeRozan to get something of value back.
In the unlikely event that he actually gets an opportunity one way or the other and shows that he's better than everyone thinks.
Sure, but I don't think that opportunity is ever going to come.
Right.
And I mean, think back to the draft and draft night too. Like, Dalton Connect is there. Like, there are guys that are there that you would have in your rotation.
I'm not a big Dalton Connect guy. I know
Sure.
Jay is. I know I'm in the minority.
There are guys there that are obvious, whether you believe in them or not. They're obvious. Their measurements alone, 6'7", 6'8" guys that you desperately needed that you did not take. Like, guys that would be in the rotation right now, even with Neek Clifford here. Like, sorry, bud. Like, you got drafted into a position that they don't need you.
How can the Kings get through the first 2 games down some front court starters? We're back with that and more. It's Jay and it's Whitey and Matt George today and you on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them. Endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter, so who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering a comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value for just $99. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends November 30th. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors. Locally owned and operated, we know what businesses like yours need. From reliable printers to high-performance copiers, we'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Looks like NBA Showtime is on the air.
Yeah, da 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 da. It's gonna grow on, Whitey. No?
It's grown on me to the point where I have to go to the doctor. I have to go see Dr. Priest and have him
get it cut off.
Yeah.
One of the most overrated theme songs ever.
Oh,
Thank you,
You're
Shay.
right.
Thank
I'm in
you.
a negativity sandwich here between the two of you.
I don't know what it is that makes people go crazy over it.
Just the nostalgia. And it's catchy. No,
So is COVID.
Oh,
you
well.
know?
Hey, there are people that look back at COVID time very fondly. It's been romanticized now. People
Has
are
it
like,
really?
Yeah.
You
It's
mean we're
like,
going to have like a sitcom that takes place during COVID?
well, that's like, remember we could just stay at our house and all we did was play video games together and didn't have to
That's
talk
funny.
to people.
I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
I was working here during COVID. I still
Mhm.
had to come in every day. Myself and Angie. We held it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You didn't do any remote shows from home?
Nope.
Yeah.
I was here in my
Yeah,
little bunker.
somebody had to be here,
In the
right?
bunker next door. Yeah, I was considered what was it, an essential employee. That's what we were called. The ones that had to that were allowed to work. Essential
Yeah.
employee. And truth be told, as much as people love the working from home thing, it probably kept me sane. Being able to go leave my house
Sure.
and work during COVID, I would have lost my mind. My wife would have killed me.
Thank goodness we had the games, all the games from the different leagues. But, watching some of those games where they had just the cardboard cutouts, and I get it, but it was depressing.
Being in the empty gym, because we were there as media, being there sitting on the concourse and then pumping in crowd noise, it was uncomfortable. I only went to a handful of games because that was the season that my son was born. So I was able to, it gave me an excuse to just watch from home. But being in there, I remember when Harrison Barnes hit a game winner in there and it was like, hey, that was the sound. Woo!
Speaking of yells, did you happen to see the interview with Brian Wu last night?
I didn't.
In the clubhouse of the Mariners. And it was kind of sad, really. And I guess it was Julio Rodriguez. He's talking to a reporter, and they're asking him, what does it feel like or something? He's going, well, I'll tell you. And then you hear somebody in the back going, ah! It's really sad. And he stops and looks kind of like, what was that? That was a rough evening.
Forcing interviews on the teams that just lost when the celebration is happening in front of them is a new level of pain. It's just a new level of pain.
Mm-hmm. How can the Kings, with some of their front court starters in pain, Matt George?
Nice.
How can they get through the first two games? Winnable games, you'd think.
Well, they had a score. Like simply put, that's it. Like you look at this Phoenix Suns roster, and this Suns roster is transitioning into, I think, more of a defensive identity. In fact, I was talking to the host of his name's Ben. He's the host of Locked On Suns, and basically what he told me was, if the Kings score 105 points, they'll win. You just got to score 105 points. Like this team is built to stop you, and then Devin Booker has to score all their points. Like that, Devin Booker is their offense. So either you approach the game.
Don't sleep on Royce O'Neal.
I mean, I will easily. I will get a great night's
Cam
sleep.
Malawach.
But like, I don't know if Doug Christie has the approach of let Booker get his and don't let anybody else beat you, or force everybody else to beat you and don't let Booker get hit. We'll see how Doug approaches the game defensively. Although every single team seems to shoot well against the Kings, and there are plenty of shooters over there in Phoenix, but the Kings just have to score. Like Zach LaVine, score. Knock down your shots. Keon Ellis come off the bench, score. DeMar DeRozan, hit shots, score. Like it's just offense. Like without Domantas Sabonis, and especially without Keegan Murray, you have to just score.
Drew Eubanks is not a terrible player. In fact,
not at all.
As a backup, if he were a backup quarterback, I don't know that he'd be Mac Jones, but he's certainly Andy Dalton. Now, that may not sound like much,
was
but
that a compliment?
Yeah. I mean, Andy Dalton's a guy who's played. If he's your backup, and I know he was forced into action this week, it's like, okay, he's played. Drew Eubanks can play.
Yes,
and he's had a really good preseason.
Absolutely he can.
And I'm not saying, he's better than Sabonis. He's going to be an all-star. No, but he's a good basketball
player. He will space the floor naturally better than Sabonis in terms of you can put him in the corner and he'll be a threat.
Do you have an NFL backup quarterback comp for him?
No.
Okay. You mocked mine. It's okay.
No, Aiden O'Connell. I don't know. He's just there.
Yeah.
No, I think Drew Eubanks is a good player, and he will help this team. If Sabonis were out as long as Keegan Murray's out, I'd be really worried. Sabonis being out a handful of games, maybe a couple weeks max with this hamstring issue, like you can survive that, especially against a team like Phoenix that's very weak at the center position. Friday against the Jazz, the Jazz are a worse team, I think. But they've got Yusuf Nurkic and Walker Kessler. Like, those are guys that could take advantage of the size or the lack of Sabonis more than the Suns can.
One good thing for the Kings without Domas, and obviously you would not choose that. But if you're looking for how you can make the best of it, if Domas is out, then that's one less mouth to feed offensively.
Yes, but that's also the foundation of how you want to run your offense gone. So the Kings have to play different offensively. Like they're not going to use Drew Eubanks primarily in the above the arc DHO game and run through him the same way they do Domas.
Right,
So Schroder has to be way more impactful.
But he was on Friday night without Domas.
100%.
And he looked to me more comfortable doing that.
You're right. It's definitely a more traditional offense than, and that's always kind of been the question with Domas that critics have used. It's like, with Domas, you have to have very specific players around him to make it work. Now, you could say that about a lot of guys. We said that about Giannis for years, and the Bucks went out and did it and then won a championship, so good on them. But I think it was if Schroder had played poorly in that final game, then I'd be a lot more worried than I am going into this Phoenix game. Like, the Kings just have to play a little more traditional and a little less like I think they will play normally when Domas is there, but that doesn't mean the ball movement's going to take a step back. They still can whip the ball around. They're just not going to play so much through their center because Domas is not there.
There were so many variables in the final preseason game that it would be foolish, if not irresponsible, for me to say, Schroder played better because Domas wasn't there. I'm not saying that, but I'm open to the possibility that in some ways perhaps Schroder was more comfortable without having to feed the high post as often.
Yeah, I think there's always something to that. I think there's also the realities, too, of when someone as important as Domantas Sabonis goes down, it forces everybody else to step up. Hey, you're going to get more opportunity now. You're going to get more shots.
Short term, that can work.
Right.
Sometimes.
Short term for sure. And you're looking at it a one-game sample size or one game at a time. Hey, Domas isn't playing tonight in Phoenix. Keegan's not playing tonight in Phoenix or tomorrow night in Phoenix. All right, Neek, need your offense off the bench a little bit more. Schroder, need you to really run this team and run this offense because that's your responsibility and score a little bit more. Hey, Russell Westbrook off the bench, we might need you to be a little more of a scorer than we initially envisioned. That could go terribly, but that's next man up, right? It's a cliche, but next man up. You got to make up between Keegan and Domas. If we're talking last year, we're talking, a little over 30 points or 30 to 35 points of offense a night between those two guys. You got to make that up. So share the sugar or say Zach LaVine score 60.
Yeah. And this doesn't really address what you just said, but Maxime Reynaud played well this preseason. Well, he played well against the Lakers.
Yeah. I love, and the Kings posted this clip, the Kings social media team, they do unbelievable jobs over there. And Max misses the free throw. And then the Kings get the offensive rebound. I think as Isaac Jones, they got the offensive rebound. Go back to Max. Max, without hesitation, fearlessly attacks the basket. It was one of those no, yes plays. And you love the fearlessness of the rookie in that moment. He made the shot. Good on him. He made up for missing the free throw. He's coming out. He's getting dapped up by his teammates as the Suns call timeout. And Doug goes right up to him and doesn't grab him aggressively, but puts his hands immediately on his jersey and coaches him. Like that's the player-coach element of Doug Christie that I don't think we can be talked enough about, but it's hard to measure. Like those are those moments where Doug saw something and understood something that we have no idea what he said in that moment. But I guarantee you Max learned a ton in those 5 seconds.
I know what he said, but I don't think you'd understand it.
I don't
know. Coming up just after 4 o'clock, 4:05, we're going to talk to Eddie Johnson, original Sacramento King and a Suns broadcaster.
Trader.
He's been there a long time.
He has.
When we come back, what last night's Monday double dip meant for the 49ers, and what if the NFL playoffs started today? That's next with Matt George, Sactown Sports.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Balsam Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
In San Diego, kids are standing up against big tobacco.
We are here to discuss the urgent issue of vapes being sold near schools and other places where people gather.
I was enticed, like so many others my age, and this is exactly how the tobacco market was trying to get me to react, and I was completely unaware.
Today, over 100 California communities restrict tobacco sales near youth spaces, like schools and parks. Learn how these teens and other Californians are beating big tobacco at undo.org.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Mike Rowe here with a fun fact. Did you know that 50% of the air that you breathe inside your home comes from your crawl space? Yeah. Whether your crawl space is wet, musty, or your floors are bouncy, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to repair your crawl space.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-646-5454. That's 800-646-5454.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
We've got Matt George with us. Before we get to the 49ers, Matt, answer this if you dare. You know Frankie Cardicelli? You heard of him?
Good guy, I think. Heard rumors. Things I'm concerned about personally, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that's very diplomatically said. 1 hour ago on X, Frankie Cardicelli, give me your ideal Kings opening night rotation. And he says, here's mine. Schroder, Ellis, Levine, DeRozan, Eubanks, Westbrook, Monk, Clifford, Jones, Sharrett.
See, that's why I haven't blocked. Terrible takes like that. I think I agree with almost that entire rotation, actually.
Yeah.
Remember, this is not the rotation for the season. You're missing 2 starters. This is very much like a very temporary thing for Doug. So when you're down 2 starters, you're just trying to put duct tape and whatever you can to patch the holes as long as you can. So
here I was just telling you how much I'm worried about Keon Ellis's minutes. I don't know that I would start him there. I might go with a more traditional big at the 4.
Uh-huh.
I might, I know he's not a great defender, but Sharch did some nice things to me. He looked close to what he used to look like in the preseason.
If Sarge is starting, he's playing 15 minutes a night. Like
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
and that he's starting just to be, and this is what Mike Brown did a lot.
Yeah.
He's starting just to hold that spot down.
Right.
But we know he's not going to play big minutes. But I think I look at lineup potential, and I think Dario Saric is there as a placeholder to just tread water.
Yeah.
Neek Clifford or Keon Ellis has the potential to be more than that. Might not work and might be worse than if you had Saric out there. But Neek or Keon could take. There's a higher ceiling to that, and there's also a lower floor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd take the risk.
I'm
personally.
just worried about going that small.
And we talked about this last week too. It's a very, very logical argument. Maybe against Phoenix you can get away with it again because they're not the most powerful in the front court.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that gives you a little more confidence. I think it's going to be Saric if I were to guess, but I would like to see Keon or Neek.
Well, I think you just made a great point, which is when you're trying to ham and egg it as best you can without two key players, it's okay to match your starting lineup up to whoever you're playing.
And
typically you want the other team, we're going to do what we do, you match up to us. But when you're already compromised, you want to be a little more flexible.
And have a quick hook. When you're experimenting, it's okay to have a quick hook and nobody has to take it personally, right? Whether it is Sarge or it is Keon. If something's not working right out the gate, make a change quickly. This is something that was a big difference that I've noticed between Mike Brown, the head coach, and Doug Christie, the head coach, in terms of his rotations is Mike would play his starters the first 4 or 5 minutes and then would make a sub pretty quickly. Typically, it was Malik Monk coming into the game, De'Aaron Fox coming out, and he did that to stagger the minutes.
It was also Chris Duarte.
Yes, true.
We've seen it,
right?
Mike, he's not bringing anything to the party,
right? KZ Okpala, right? There were some interesting lineups that Mike tried over the years. With Doug, he's been, at least during preseason, very consistent of my starters are out there for the first 7-8 minutes of the game unless they get in foul trouble. He's been consistent with that. And I think the injuries to Sabonis and Keegan will prevent him from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think whatever starting lineup he shows up with tomorrow can't play the first 7-8 minutes of the game unless they're rolling.
You know what I always think of when I think of Chris Duarte, and he had a nice start to his career with Indiana and just got injured and never has quite found it since. But the last game of the season, not this year obviously, but the year before, they were playing Portland. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Sunday, last game of the season, right before they went into the play-in against the Warriors, which they won. And Duarte was getting into it with Delano Banton. And Banton was having a terrible, a historically bad shooting night, but they were getting after each other physically. And late in the game, Duarte came out and Colby Jones came in. And Banton thought it was still Duarte. And he got a technical for smacking him or something.
Oh, poor Colby Jones.
was like,
Yo!
What's going on? And then watching it, I realized, he thinks that's still Duarte.
Imagine he walked away. Hi, I'm Colby. Poof.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the same thing that happened last night to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got smacked around a little bit by the Lions.
Great segue. I learned a lot
the
about.
boss is here. I pulled it out. I don't know if it worked.
No, I like it. It landed. We talked about this a little bit with Alan Stiles during the crosstalk earlier. That performance from the Detroit Lions for me is everything that Dan Campbell needs to this is us.
Mm-hmm.
If we can find a way to be this the majority of the time throughout the remainder of the season, and specifically in the playoffs, we will win a Super Bowl.
Isn't This Is Us? Is that show?
Isn't
that a TV show? This Is Us?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, and then there's also The Last of Us, which was about the mushroom people.
Which is based off a video game. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. But I'm sorry, I shouldn't have.
We should play it together.
I wanted to do a show, This Is The Last of Us, combine the two of them, but
that's a lot of words.
Yeah.
Detroit, I thought, was fantastic. And I know a lot of people are making it about Baker Mayfield, and there goes Baker's MVP chances. He laid an egg there, but I thought Detroit's defense was phenomenal. Jahmyr Gibbs, phenomenal. And then Jared Goff is a good enough quarterback to where he doesn't have to shine and look super duper fancy. He makes the right throws, trusts his weapons.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a great quarterback.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah. So this is what it looks like right now in the NFC after the 49ers win on Sunday night. And then Seattle's win last night and the Lions win last night. Number 1 seed in the NFC right now, according to NFL.com, the 4-1-1 Green Bay Packers.
I believe that.
Current playoff probability, 82%. Number 2 is the San Francisco 49ers. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Banged up Niner gang.
Yes, they are. 75% playoff probability. So the way it works now, you'd have the Packers would have the bye. Number 2, 49ers would play in the first round against number 7, which, as of right now, would be the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, no thanks. If I'm the Niners, I'm like, come on.
The Rams are also 5-2, same as the 49ers, but the Rams are third in the NFC West because of the various tiebreakers. Their playoff probability is 90%. The 3 seed right now, and they would take on the 6 seed. The 3 seed is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wait,
also at 5-2.
Sorry, you said the Rams have a 90% probability of making the playoffs.
According to NFL.com.
They're the 7th seed. The Niners are the 2nd seed, but the Niners have a smaller probability
75%,
of making...
yes.
Wow.
Because it's crazy with so many teams that are 5-2.
That's that LA market right there, man. You're in LA, so you got a higher chance.
Yeah, so you'd have number 3 Eagles, the 3 seed, taking on the 6 seed, the Seattle Seahawks, who are also 5-2.
Frauds.
And have a 71%
fraud alert
chance of making the playoffs. I don't think the fraud squad should come calling on the Seahawks because they're legit defensively. We disagree on that. Why do you think they're frauds?
I just don't trust them. I don't believe in them. But I'm also fully aware that there should be a station in Seattle right now saying the same exact thing about the Niners.
Oh, definitely.
And it should. I think it's exactly how both teams are looking at each other. Like fraudulent. Like I don't believe in this Sam Darnold version of the Seahawks, and I'm wondering.
Well, they did. Even Sam Darnold. I think this is to your point. Pardon me for interrupting, but Sam Darnold said that was a weird game last night. He lost a fumble. He threw an interception. They still won, but I think he felt like that was a little shaky.
Yeah, Seattle has really good individual players. They beat the Houston Texans, who like C.J. Stroud might not be it after all, and I feel bad, but DeMeco Ryans might. The hype might have worn off for DeMeco Ryans, like a lot of former Niners coordinators that go their own way.
They were looking past the Seahawks to the 49ers this week.
Yeah, sure. So, and the Niners better beat the Texans, or we're gonna have big problems. But I don't believe in that team. If I were to ask you this, like, if you were to rather have Mac Jones or Sam Darnold as your quarterback right now going forward, I don't care what side you're picking. The fact that there's
well, I trust Mac Jones more.
Okay,
but
so
I think
there's a
Seattle
problem.
stem to stern is a very strong team, especially on the defensive side of the football.
But quarterback play is of course so important to actually get you there, have you do anything other than making the postseason.
And Sam Darnold still has something to prove as far as winning big games.
If I'm in the NFC right now, based off of that playoff picture, Seattle is close to, if not at the top of my list of that's the team I want to play in that first round to get through. I think so.
The 4 seed and the 5 seed matchup, if the playoffs started today, would be the 5-2 Buccaneers, the 4 seed against the 5-2 Lions.
I don't want the Lions. I believe the Bucs. I trust the Bucs to win a game, and I trust them to win a game way more, and Baker Mayfield to win a game way more than the Seahawks and Darnold. And the Niners might be banged up, but their resiliency is crazy, and Christian McCaffrey is still there, and he's an absolute workhorse. Don't want anything to do with the Eagles. Don't want anything to do with the Rams. And the Packers, I think, are a really, really good football team. So
yeah, McCaffrey's on pace to have the 6th most touches in a season ever. But I talk about the jumble bucket real quick here.
Yes.
Packers 4-1-1. And then the Niners, Eagles, Buccaneers, Lions, Seahawks, and Rams, they're all 5-2. The Bears are 4-2. The Panthers 4-3. Cowboys 3-3-1. They're 10th. And the Falcons, who said they had arrived last week, apparently forgot something and had to go back because now they're 11th. They dropped 3 spots. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If the playoffs started today.
I'm not a believer in the Seahawks.
They don't.
Not a believer in the Seahawks. Need to see more.
I hope you're right, but they concern me a little bit. When we come back, 4:05, Eddie Johnson is going to join us, and we'll take a look when we come right back at NBA experts. They've made their picks. Here's some things that they're saying about your Sacramento Kings. Next, Matt George with us today on Sactown Sports.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Fran!
49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Amateur players will be pleased to know that the USGA doesn't object to a friendly bet with your weekend foursome. Friendly bets include soft drinks after the round, hot dogs at the turn, or even a $2 Nassau, one of the most widely used bets in golf. It takes its name from the Nassau County Country Club of Glen Cove, Long Island, one of the many clubs frequented by the well-to-do in the late 19th century. As the story goes, matches between these clubs were often reported in the local newspapers, sometimes to the embarrassment of wealthy industrialists coming out the loser. The Nassau captain J.B. Coles Tappan then devised a format where the worst possible result could not be reported as anything more than a 3-0 defeat. In a Nassau, 3 equal wagers are placed on the first 9, the second 9, and 18-hole total. A $2 Nassau is sometimes referred to as a 2-2-2 bet. Some play better with a bet to keep their attention, others are nervous at the thought of losing. Whatever your choice, golf is a game, have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they are upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week, and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Hold the onions. For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Matt George is here. Boy, Chris Watkins just popped his head.
It's good to see Chris.
Yes,
Way better than
absolutely.
Frankie. Way better than Frankie.
I think you're being a little hard on Frankie, frankly.
No.
No?
He deserves it.
All right.
He has his own office. He has the place to
He does.
take it all in.
Cavernous office.
Yeah, with a Shaquille O'Neal bobblehead, by the way. We got to point that out. Just because it's the Shaquille O'Neal Kings bobblehead where he's ripping his shirt and it says like Sactown on it, doesn't matter.
See, I just feel badly for him because he has a Willie Mays bobblehead, and he says, somebody broke it?
Well, he claims Jason Ross broke it, but I think Frankie in one of his classic Yankees rages probably broke it.
Okay. We have Eddie Johnson coming up in a couple minutes. Before we get to that, it's time for today's keyword. Sactown Sports has given you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to see the Kings versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, November 7th. This is the NBA Cup opener for the Kings. So this prize includes a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer and a $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento social hotspot. Have you been there, Matt?
I have.
Isn't it unbelievable?
Beautiful.
Yes.
Still haven't stayed in the Sawyer, though, so whoever wins this has to tell me how it is.
Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowds, the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending NBA champions. The only time I was there, yeah, what's that?
I said Whitey guarantees it.
That's right. The only time I was there, it was pre-beam. So I'm just imagining, I remember looking over and looking at the arena. It's spectacular in my mind as I see the beam, right there in front of you.
I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen the beam up close and personal, so that's like my one claim to fame, but that would be number 2 is seeing it from there.
What do you mean? You were on the roof?
I got taken up there. I wasn't supposed to be, but I got taken up there to see it. I have pictures
You're
that
snitching on yourself.
I have pictures, well, because people know it, because I put it out on social media and was told to immediately take it down.
Oh.
But I have pictures on my phone of seeing the beam and how it works, and it is fantastic. It looks amazing. But yes.
Yeah, text in today's keyword to 916-339-1140 now for your chance to win. And the word is, make sure I got everything in order here. We don't want any mistakes. Shoot! SHOOT. Shoot to 916-339-1140 for your chance at the grand prize. Good luck.
That's what everybody used to scream every time Jimmer Fredette touched the ball in Sacramento.
Yeah.
That Jimmer era, just going to a game was as soon as Jimmer touched the ball, 4,000 people that were there screaming, shoot!
Didn't he just fairly recently announce that he was done? Didn't he retire?
Oh,
yeah.
Dang it.
Jay is confirming that.
Not a bummer, huh? That's highlight package in the Golden One Center.
The thing I remember about him, among other things, is Deuce and I went to the day he worked out, right before the draft.
Yeah.
And we were telling a friend of ours, in fact, it was the great Mark Kreidler, who truly is the great Mark Kreidler. And we came back and was on the station. We told him, they're going to draft Jimmer. And Mark Kreidler's like, I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. And we said, no, we were there and we saw it. And he's like, I don't think they're going to draft Jimmer Fredette. And they did.
There was a game 2 seasons ago at a Kings game at the Golden One Center. I usually, before tip-off, I like to do just a lap of the arena to talk to fans and say hi and just get kind of stretched before. And a fan walks up to me and he has a scrapbook. He's like, Matt, I want to show you this. And he opens the scrapbook and it's different pages of different pictures of like NBA stars and legends that were in a Kings shirt at their pre-draft workout the Kings never took. So there was like a Kawhi Leonard one. There was Dame Lillard. He just has a scrapbook of all the draft misses that the Kings worked out and never took.
Eddie Johnson's going to join us in just a moment. Also, we're going to look at some Kings predictions here from the athletic staff. Now, the athletic staff predicts, MVP and NBA champions and things like that. Breakthrough team in the East. So the Kings aren't mentioned in a lot of those things.
Shocking.
Defensive Player of the Year. The Kings are mentioned further down the road. Most improved player, no Kings mentions.
Boo.
Sixth Man of the Year award, no Kings mentions.
Oh, come on. Malik's still here.
Coach of the Year, no Kings mentions.
Doug Christie
Executive
disrespect.
of the Year, no Kings mentions.
Boo.
Yeah. Who will win the NBA Cup?
That's our award, man. That's ours.
No Kings mentions.
That's what we're going for.
But we do have, let's see. Who will be the highest profile player to be traded in season?
Great. DeMar DeRozan.
Lauri Markkanen gets 6 votes. Giannis gets 5. Zion 4. Kuminga 3. And then 2 each for Vucevic, LeBron, and Domantas Sabonis. So there's your first Kings reference.
Domas.
Yes.
Wow.
Zach LaVine, 1 vote.
That would be something. And DeMar didn't make it?
He did not.
Sabonis and LaVine's contracts are almost impossible to move. I would be stunned if either one of them is gone. I'm not saying it would be a bad thing. I'd just be stunned.
Which will be the last team to win its first game is a question.
No.
We're not on this list.
The Kings they got 1 here. Washington Wizards 12, Utah Jazz 8 votes from the members of the athletic staff here.
Athletic didn't pay attention to the schedule.
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets 7, Charlotte 2, Bulls 2. Whoever loses the Charlotte-Brooklyn game on October 22nd won, and the Kings won. So it's just 1.
Show yourself, staff member. Put your name on it.
Yeah, 1 ne'er-do-well who doesn't know what they're talking about.
Watch it. It's like Sam Amick.
And which team will win the NBA draft lottery? Wizards 13 votes, Jazz 8 votes, Nets 5 votes, Hornets 2, and the Sacramento Kings 2.
I appreciate those 2 people, but I will say, as much as I'm rooting for that to happen, the Kings have had more than their fair share of draft lottery luck in the last decade, and they've blown it most of the time with the exception of Keegan. They've had a lot of draft lottery luck moving up where they should not. So it would be great for Scott Perry to get himself a top pick and see what he could do with it. But Kings fans, we can't be going, come on, we didn't move up. We've done it enough times and blew it.
What did you think of how they fared in the De'Aaron Fox deal? I mean, that's going back a ways, I know. But you said they haven't had. What did you say? You said Keegan's the best luck they've had in a while?
Yes. So, well, when the Kings moved up to 5 so I have actually a negative reaction to the De'Aaron Fox draft.
I shouldn't have brought that up because it's very complicated with the trade they had. Involving the pick.
And because that was the Domantas Sabonis, that was the DeMarcus Cousins trade that they got with New Orleans. They got New Orleans pick, which was 10. Now they had Donovan Mitchell there at 10. They could have drafted Fox and Mitchell as their starting backcourt. And they traded 10 for 15 and 20. Remember who 15 and 20 ended up being?
Harry Giles?
Harry Giles was 20. Who was 15?
Let's see. Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jackson.
Justin Jackson.
Close.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah.
not
From
the
UNC.
receiver. Not the receiver from Minnesota. No, that was and of course both of those guys didn't pan out. So I have a very negative view
Didn't
of
they
that.
actually draft Zach Collins technically?
Yes,
but
they drafted
him.
Zach and they traded him to Portland.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a negative view of that draft. Not because of Fox. Fox was a really good pick at 5. But because of how, just like I have actually a positive view of the Yorgos Papagiannis draft. Because,
really?
Right. Remember, they traded down. They traded with Phoenix, gave him Marquise Chris. Who did the Kings get in that deal?
They got Bogey.
Bogdan Bogdanović.
Yes.
So while they drafted Yorgos Papagiannis and that was an absolute joke, they walked out of that draft with Bogdan Bogdanović, which was better than Marquise Chris anyway.
Speaking of the Phoenix Suns, nice enough to join us. An original Sacramento Kings, 17 years in the NBA, an outstanding broadcaster for SiriusXM and, of course, the Suns, Eddie Johnson. Eddie, happy opening day. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. I just wanted to ask you, firstly here, what kind of teammate was new Kings assistant Mike Woodson, and what kind of job you think he's going to do on Doug Christie's bench this year?
Well, I mean, look, Woody is probably like my brother. You know, that's how close we are. To get off the phone with him a second ago.
Yeah.
We fought against each other when he went to the University of Indiana. I was at Illinois. We didn't like each other then. And then I got drafted by the Kings. Then he got traded to the Kings. in my first year. And I didn't even speak on him I didn't even speak to him when I got on the bus. He remembered that.
Yeah.
And after that, we become best of friends. I mean, our families, we travel together in the off season. We see each other. So I'm one of his biggest supporters, man. I'm happy that he's back in the league. Thought he got a raw deal at his alma mater, University of Indiana. And, you know, he's an NBA coach, and he's going to help tremendously. Doug Christie, you know, you need veteran guys around you when you're a new coach. And I applaud Doug Christie for, you know, not having an ego and not being intimidated by having a guy next to him that has been a head coach in the league for a number of years, because I think that's going to enhance him, and it's going to really, I think, you know, make his career extra long because of the knowledge he's going to get from Woody.
Mm-hmm. It seems to me, Eddie, that a lot of the guys that were on that original Sacramento Kings team are still very close. Is that the case? Maybe that's not unusual, but it seems like a lot of guys, we talked to Tank and we talked to Reggie Theus, it seems like a lot of you guys are still very close.
Yeah, very close. And I think it's because, you know, when we played together, we were all young. We were all trying to figure it out. We were competing not only against the opponent, but actually for playing time against each other. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to balance all of that. Cotton Fitzsimmons was a tremendous coach, and he kept us together. We had a lot of functions together. We got to know each other's families, and it just stuck, man. And you're right. I mean, like I said, Woody's a tremendous friend. LaSalle's one of my best friends in the world, and Reggie's a great friend. So yeah, we have a connection, man, and it's great because that was the first Kings team back in 1985. And Otis Thorpe, we still get in contact with him. It's like we all have stayed together since then.
Well, Eddie, before we talk about tomorrow night's game and this new era for Phoenix Suns basketball, what do you make of this current Kings roster? A lot of big names, a lot of talent, but can it work together? What do you think of the group?
Well, I think you just said it. I mean, can it work together? And I think it's up to the players. When you throw that out, then you got to say, okay, it's on the players. But without a doubt, I mean, in regards to offensive firepower, you all have it. Yeah, it's unfortunate Keegan Murray is out. From what I understand, he was having a really good camp. But you still got DeMar DeRozan, you got Zach LaVine, you got Sabonis. You got guys that can, I don't know if Sabonis is playing tomorrow or not, but still, you got guys that really can score the ball. Malik Monk off the bench, it's a problem. And if they can defend and share the ball, then they will have an opportunity, to place in the playoffs, whether it's play-in or top six. I do believe they have the talent to do it.
Mm-hmm. The great Eddie Johnson, nice enough to join us. And as you probably know, Eddie, Domas is going to miss the first two games with the hamstring strain. But one guy you didn't mention is a guy that a lot of fans around here are excited about. A lot of people are a little confused about how he fits in with all this. Russell Westbrook, what kind of fit do you think he might be here in Sacramento?
Well, the one thing you do know, he's missed all the training camps, but I would guarantee you he's in better shape than everybody that's on that team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the one thing that's always impressed me with Russ, is that you can tell he loves the game based on how he keeps himself in pristine condition to play the game. And it says a lot about the person in regards to how much they love the sport that they play. And look, he's polarizing. He's got tons of energy. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to do things that you probably say, oh, why did he do that? But you got to look at the full value of him. Full value of him is he gets along with his teammates. Every time I talk to people from wherever, they always say he's tremendous in the locker room with the young guys. And I root for him. I do. I just, people want to retire him. And I'm like, hold up. The guy can play as long as he wants to play. Mm-hmm. If teams are going to keep signing him, he plays. He had a good year in Denver last year. I thought he was very good for them. So, no, he's a problem. He's going to be a problem tomorrow. Like, I never enjoy going against him because you're going to have to beat him because he's not going to allow anybody to beat him with effort, and that's key.
Eddie, when you go through what the Phoenix Suns went through this summer, trading away Kevin Durant, moving on from Bradley Beal, when high-profile guys like that leave, a lot of people would naturally assume, okay, it's a reset, it's a restart. Devin Booker is still on this roster. We know how unbelievably talented he is. You bring in guys like Jalen Green, who's unfortunately not playing. He's out tomorrow, at least that's what the injury report has. Someone like Dylan Brooks, who's a win-now player, defensive-minded player, had a great year last year with the Houston Rockets. This is a Suns team that is definitely not in a reset stage. Am I right, Eddie? This is a team that's hungry to go out there and win some basketball games and do it on the backs of their defense.
Yeah, I would say it's a reset based on the players we lost.
Yeah.
Right? So we lose Kevin Durant. I mean, that's 27 a night, all-time great. Bradley Beal was probably our most efficient player last year. Shot close to 50, 40, 85, something like that. So when you lose those kind of guys, then, yeah, it's probably a reset if you didn't replace them with somebody comparable. Mm-hmm. Now, Jalen Green, he led the Rockets in scoring last year on the second-best record in the West, fourth best in the entire NBA. So you talking about somebody who's 23 years old that can go out and get you 20 every night. So, yeah, that's a huge addition. Dylan Brooks had one of his best years shooting the ball last season, especially from the three. And we already know what his defense is going to do and how polarized he is in regards to energizing his team. So we got tremendous guys back. And then we got a lot of young players that, you know, again, I think from an effort standpoint is just off the rails. You know, I mean, just from Grayson Allen to Jordan Goodwin, who we just signed, Rasheer Fleming, who we drafted, Ryan Dunn, who I think is going to be a tremendous player before his career is over, Mark Williams, who, if he's healthy, I can argue he could be one of the top 5 centers in the league based on his ability to score. So, yeah, we got a lot of question marks, right? Kalaman Malawach, well, I think we call him Man because I just can't be saying that name all year. He had his best preseason game in our last game against the Lakers. So it just showed how good he's going to be in the future. So, you know, yeah, we got a lot of young players that play hard, that, you know, want to play. And then we got Devin Booker, who is a walking 25 to 28 a game. I think possibly could lead the league in scoring this year because of it. So, yeah, any given night we can go out there and win. But it's going to be a struggle just because they're young.
Eddie, Kings fans are getting used to and getting familiar with some of the new players here. One of them might not play much this year, but he probably is going to start against you guys tomorrow night. And I know he spent a year in Phoenix. Tell us about Drew Eubanks. And I know he's a backup, but what kind of player was Drew Eubanks in Phoenix, and what do you think the Kings expect from him this year?
Hard worker. I mean, he's a hard worker. He's going to give you every ounce of energy he has. He's going to rebound the ball. You throw it up around the rim, he'll go get it and dunk it. He just plays with a ton of energy, and that's what teams need. You know, teams that have a lot of scores and not quote-unquote known as very good defenders. So it's always good to have a shot blocker behind you, a guy there to go get the rebound, one and done on one end, all of that. And then Drew Eubanks, he's that guy. You know, he had a good run with us. I enjoyed watching him play. He got good minutes playing with us. And so I suspect that, you know, it'll happen again.
Eddie, one of the questions I always love to ask at this time of the year before the season starts is, like, what will surprise people about this group? I asked the Kings about that, and Malik Monk said how fast the Kings play will surprise a lot of people. In your mind, what do you think it is about this Phoenix Suns team this year that will surprise the Kings tomorrow and will surprise the NBA this season?
I'm just telling you, just the size. One, you got 3 7-footers on this team, and I think that's an advantage. But more so than anything, I'm just telling you, just the work ethic. And these dudes run, so it's almost like Indiana Pacers 2.0. So just expect them to run, and pick up 94 feet. So like Oklahoma City. So it's a lot of that, you know, that mentality that they're going to play with this year. So Yeah, it's not going to be easy to score on them because they're running guys in. You got a ton of wing players that if they get in foul trouble, you just throw another one out there. So I think that's the key. But again, if Mark Williams is healthy, now you got a three-headed monster at center, I think that's going to be huge for him.
Eddie, I wanted to ask you about Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine had a phenomenal shooting year last year. Of course, he got caught up in De'Aaron Fox trade. He was involved in the trade, and he came here amidst a lot of uncertainty. His numbers were good, but now looks like he's going to be the guy offensively for the Kings. How big is this opportunity for him, and what do you think he can do with it, being presumably the point of the offensive spear for the Kings?
Well, one of the things I think that Zach has been, people don't really give him credit for is he's highly efficient as a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about the other things and all of that, and then people always got the go-to move is they don't play defense. Okay, the hardest thing to do in basketball is put that orange ball in the basket. And, it's just funny to me. A lot of people want to deviate and go to the defense, right? And the only reason they do that is because they couldn't score. So they try to belittle scoring like it's so damn easy. It's not. It's hard. And this guy does it well. I mean, you think about his career, he's shooting 47% from the field. Last 2 years, he shot 51% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's very efficient. And then from three, last 3 years, he shot almost 45% from the field. Last 2 years, that is.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, excuse me.
Yeah.
Last 3 years, 45%. So, yeah, you leave him open, he's going to kill you from three. He can go off the dribble and get the three. You foul him, he shoots 83% from the line. So, yeah, I mean, he's a pristine scorer. He and DeMar DeRozan, if the game is close, in the 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how they're going to have to win this year.
Eddie, before we let you go, and we appreciate your time, I know you as a media member, you're probably on Basketball Reference a lot. I know I am. And Basketball Reference, on the page of players like yourself, current and former players, they have nicknames. And I wanted to see if anyone has ever actually called you any of these nicknames they have for you on Basketball Reference. They have three. They have the man who put the J in jump shot. They have the smooth shooter, and they have Piggy. And have those ever actually been any of Eddie Johnson's nicknames?
Yeah, the man who put the J in jump shot is my ex-partner, and he still calls games. That's Tom Leander.
Yeah.
So that's what he always refers to me when we call games together.
Yeah.
The smooth shooter is Kevin Ray.
Yeah.
Who is right now the current Suns play-by-play.
Uh-huh.
And Piggy is my nickname. If you go to my old neighborhood in Chicago, my name's not Eddie. Okay, my family, anybody in my family, and I got a huge family, they don't call me Eddie. They call me Piggy. They call me Pig. That was my nickname growing up, and it stuck. And like I said, anybody in Chicago that grew up with me or any of my family and friends, that's what they call me by. Yeah, so Eddie and Edward and Ed, that's never mentioned around my family. And one or two of my sisters and brothers might do it every now and then, but no, that's my nickname.
Can we ask how you got that nickname?
Yeah, I don't know. My mom, I was 2 feet when I was born, so I used to eat a lot as a little one. So that's how it stuck. But everybody in my family had nicknames. I grew up in a family of 7, right? So one of my brother's name was Mikey. His name was Michael.
Yeah.
The other one, my brother's name was Darren. We called him Bunny. Okay. My sister, her name was Tina. We call her Teeny. And my mother, believe it or not, her name is Doris, and we call her Di. D-I. So we all had nicknames growing up. You had to have something because, those meals didn't always come.
Gotcha.
So you had to talk about each other, have fun, and make fun of each other just to be able to tire ourselves out and go to sleep.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for your time, Eddie. Good luck tomorrow night. We appreciate it, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
Eddie Johnson.
Piggy.
You can call him that. I'm not calling him.
No, absolutely not. Not to his face. I'll say it from the safety of this room and the miles that separate us. But hey, Now we know.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball reference. Spot on.
Yes, 3 for 3 right there. Some of these are like, what? But
we have to ask Drew about the Baron of whatever the heck.
Shack of Troutdale. Drew Eubanks.
If that is true, I don't want it to be true. I want Drew to go, I've never heard of that before. If he goes, oh yeah, we have a problem.
When we come back, Sacramento's baseball expansion bid. It is now official. The mayor has put his stamp on it. We're back with that next on Sactown Sports.
The Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com to join.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Every time I turn around, my friends at Pure Talk give me one more reason to feel good about switching. This month, for instance, they're supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat veterans struggling with PTSD. The result? They're saving lives on both ends of the leash. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. I like being in business with an American wireless company who shares my values. Yeah, I appreciate unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and I bet you will too. But I think you'll really appreciate doing business with a company who gives back to the men and women who volunteered to defend our country. Just dial pound 250, say micro. With Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team, you can switch in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in L.A., red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Did we just see the future of the Kings, AJ DeBansa, on TV there? Is he going to end up with a Sacramento King? Huh? Matt George? No?
Maybe. Who knows? I can't predict a week from now, let alone 9 months.
I know his name is mentioned a lot on the Alan Stiles show.
Oh.
They do their
Well, that makes me worried then.
lottery simulation every day.
Well, here's the thing. When Alan Stiles mentions his infatuation towards a player here in Sacramento, it's usually not the best endorsement. Alan is known for, at the dinner table at Kings games, coming up with trades that everybody just goes, ugh, including, like, he got the G-Man, Gary Gerald, one time to go, ugh. And I was like, Alan, that's not good. Like, G will humor anything. He wasn't vibing with that.
Yeah. By the way, Jose was just in here, our program director, and of course, he loves the old NBA song.
Yeah,
the Round Ball Rock.
da.
He and Matt George, they're just two peas in a pod.
So excited.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. We're going to listen to it together on the drive home.
That's drive home. Good. Tremendous. Good for you. Thanks to Eddie Jordan for joining us. Yeah, we're very excited. Opening night in the NBA. And then, of course, the Kings tomorrow night against Eddie Johnson's Phoenix Suns. I want to shift gears just for a second here because I heard an interesting conversation today on, believe it or not, on Carmichael Dave's show. And also this was something to talk about anyway because yesterday the mayor of Sacramento, talking about a number of things going on with the city, he did say, yes, we are in the running for a Major League Baseball expansion team. Yeah, so it's official now. It's out. It's not a matter of Sacramento hoping to keep the A's. If things broke a certain way, I'm sure they'd have some interest in that, but that's not what they're focused on right now. And as the mayor said today on Carmichael Dave's show, oh yeah, they're going to Vegas. But Sacramento is in, Matt George. Looks like right now a 3-team race for Major League Baseball's Western expansion team. Let's go, huh? Let's go.
I feel like we're being friend zoned by the MLB.
Do you?
That's what I feel like. I feel like we're being strung along by the MLB because there are a lot of hurdles that we all know that Sacramento would have to climb over or to cross to get there, as there is in any market with expansion. Sure. And all these leagues are going to have these ridiculous demands and high expectations because they know they're the commodity that everybody wants a little piece of. But we have this experiment, for lack of a better term, with the A's in West Sacramento right now. And I know, and it's already being used as an argument against this city as to why it's not viable as an expansion market. And the talks of attendance and the ballpark is a joke to everyone around the league. The opposing team's broadcaster always has to bring it up when he's here. He's here like these facilities are, it's cute, like just very patronizing. And I know they're reacting the same way everybody else is reacting. People from Sacramento are going to the ballpark and going, like, this is not a major league ballpark, but we're going to enjoy it, I guess, while it's here. But I from the beginning found this entire charade to be disingenuous. I found it to be, and I thought Sacramento and Sacramento's fans were treated very disrespectfully throughout this entire season, not by A's players, not by the coaches. The people on the field that actually deserve the support, they're not the ones that are the problem. It's ownership, it's John Fisher, it's the absolute refusal to acknowledge Sacramento as their temporary home, putting Las Vegas all over the outfield wall so everybody at the ballpark knows where they're going. It's giving Sacramento a little patch, but also giving Vegas a bigger one on the jerseys. It's refusing to put Sacramento not just on the jerseys the players are wearing, but on merchandise for fans to buy. Like, they don't even want fans to be able to acknowledge that the team was here 3-4 years from now.
They are making some strides in that area next year.
But after a year
you're right.
Like, you killed the momentum.
I'll tell you what's not disingenuous, and I agree with you, and I think we're probably on the same page here, and I think Dave's on this page too. I wish Sacramento had never gotten involved in any way, shape, or form with the A's relocation.
Yeah, it's gross.
They did that, and this, Mayor McCarty, I believe he inherited that. Mm-hmm. But here we are. So what baseball is saying is, we're maybe going to expand. We don't even know for sure if they're going to do that. Sacramento has the A's as a way to get Major League Baseball's attention. A lot of things that you're talking about, and I agree with you 100%, they're the doing of the Athletics. And that organization is, there's a lot of things about the way they've handled the relocation and are handling it that are distasteful to say the least. Sacramento's trying to take advantage of this opportunity to show baseball, look what we can do. Trying to take advantage of this opportunity to get on the map. Now you've got Utah, Salt Lake City, light years ahead of Sacramento right now. Stadium plans, money, they've got it all lined up. Portland is also ahead of us, but Sacramento has a chance. What's not disingenuous are the efforts of those in Sacramento who are trying to advance Major League Baseball's expansion efforts for Sacramento.
Oh, and let me be clear. The disingenuousness, if that's a word, comes from the league. It comes from Rob Manfred, who's just a mouthpiece for ownership. It does not come from anybody in Sacramento who's trying to make the most out of this opportunity. I don't blame the city at all for jumping at probably the only shot you're ever going to get.
That's it. I think you're right. But, you're not going to get another shot.
I have no problem with politicians, local, Vivek Ranadive, all these people trying to get involved to make this a possibility. I'm not blaming them or saying they're disingenuous at all with these efforts. If you look at those 3 expansion markets that you just discussed, only one of them, Major League Baseball can only benefit from one of them right now. That's Sacramento, because there's a team currently here. So as long as the tickets are selling, it's money in Fisher and MLB's pockets. They get these big companies to get on board. Like, the MLB can benefit from Sacramento right now because they have a homeless team here at the moment, sleeping on the couch.
Right.
These other 2 markets would love for the MLB to come, but right now they can't really give the MLB anything. So the MLB is going to make the standard for Sacramento different than it is for these other 2 markets, because not only do you have to get all this infrastructure in place for us to consider it, you also have to treat this little couch hopper nicely that's here, that doesn't want anything to do with you, but you have to, we're grading you based off of how you treat this little team that is disrespectful to you, or the organization is disrespectful to you.
My understanding is that as much as we talk about the attendance, and I think even Mayor McCarty himself said, hey, we would like more people to go to the games. I don't think that's as big a factor as it's being made out to be.
I agree.
What is important is who's paying for all this. Where's the stadium going to be? And Sacramento has a lot of ground to make up on Portland and Utah in that regard, but they do have time. And that's one thing they have with the team here. They have time. I think it's a long putt. And I think the people who are working on it have the city's best, they're well-intended, and they have the city's best interests at heart, but it's going to be really difficult. But as you said, this is probably your last shot.
Yeah.
When's baseball going to expand again? So they're going for it.
The attendance, you're right. The attendance in terms of negotiations and all the stuff behind closed doors, it's just a fraction of the situation.
And obviously, like you say, the A's are going to, hey, come on, everybody, show us what you can do, because they want people buying tickets.
But what matters to me is narrative. Because the narrative of Sacramento won't be awarded a franchise because they won't even support the franchise that is here.
That will be, even to your point, I think we will probably hear that. Sacramento probably won't get a team.
We're already hearing it.
Yeah, I know, but it's not necessarily true, but we're going to hear it either way.
Right, and it's going to get louder and louder. And this is also coming from someone that the listeners need to understand, because I have a background of being a diehard A's fan. I grew up going to A's games every summer with my grandma, who was from the Bay Area, and we went to Oakland to the Coliseum to watch games. I'm aware of the problems. We don't need to get into the politics of Oakland. The point is, I listen to the narratives spun from this organization and ownership group about that fan base for years.
You're right, but we just have to separate that, not forget it, but separate that from what Sacramento's doing. I agree with you 100% on that.
I hear you. You're right. And there are 2 separate instances, but again, I'm already hearing this narrative of attendance and
I know.
The conversation inside baseball, behind the closed doors, that the public is not going to get granted access to. There are conversations that attendance is just a fraction. They don't care about the A's. They're talking about an expansion franchise.
Right.
But outside, when Rob Manfred steps up to the microphone, next time he opens his dumb mouth and says something stupid, one of the things he's going to say is, just like he said, it's cute what the Oakland fans are doing with their reverse boycott. The Sacramento effort was cute. We appreciate them for turning this minor league ballpark into a little couch for us to sleep on before we got to our big shiny new ballpark in Vegas.
This conversation continues when we come right back with Matt George on Sactown Sports.
Sunday, the 49ers take on the Texans.
He turns, he gives Christian.
Kickoff at 10 a.m.
The 49ers play here.
A touchdown, maybe to put it away.
Sactown Sports, 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies starting out clear. We'll turn cloudy overnight tonight. Chance for a few little sprinkles, and then we'll keep it mostly cloudy throughout the day with temperatures warming into the mid to low 70s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
Made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm a plumber and needed to get work in the door.
So business was going down the drain?
Yeah, I went to Staples. They printed yard signs, business cards, even flyers to leave at supply stores.
But at what cost, man?
Well, I saved $125 on my order, and now I'm booked solid. Boom!
Back at ya. For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online ends 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Toyota's legendary truck event is on, and the deals are legendary. Get low APR plus 500 bonus cash on 2025 Tacoma, or get a low-cost lease on Tacoma Double Cab, or get low APR or up to $3,000 cash back on 2025 Tundra. Get to your Toyota dealer now, because this truck event is gonna be Toyota. Let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Cashback available through TMNA and cannot be combined with other offers. Ends 11/3/25.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Triad Guys on Sactown Sports.
Hey, the NBA season has started. We're 30 seconds into the NBA season.
Basketball! It's real.
Uh-huh.
First bucket of the season is Chet Holmgren.
Houston's so overrated. They haven't even scored a point yet.
God, they suck.
Troy Smith Jr. with the foul.
See, that's why you paid him less than Keegan.
I know.
He fouls too
it's
much.
all crystal clear at this point.
See, just questions answer themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, that was a hard foul, though.
What is we'll get back to that baseball conversation, MLB expansion in just a moment. Where are you? What is your sense here with the Kings opening the season tomorrow? Excited, guardedly excited, trepidatious, unsure, depressed. I mean, where are you compared to where you typically are?
Curious.
Okay.
And I don't know if curiosity is a good thing. And I think a lot of people are curious about this team. What does the Russell Westbrook element look like? Can Doug Christie get this Isle of Misfit toys to play together into a cohesive basketball unit? So there's a lot of curiosity for me. But, of course, there's always excitement. Like, even when I was like, I hate everything, this sucks, Mike Brown was fired, like, I was excited for the Doug Christie era. When I go into the Golden One Center on Friday night before the Utah Jazz, I'll be there way too early because I always am on those big game days. And I'll just be pacing and anxiously awaiting that opening tip. It's just, that's Kings basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Sacramento. And that's why I feel so passionately the way I do about the MLB expansion conversation in Sacramento, because I am of this city. I am of this city's fan base. My love for sports began in this city, and I know it's shared for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people in this area. For them to be misrepresented in any kind of way by the MLB as a team that, or a group of people that didn't support something, is foolish, because look at the support for the Sacramento Kings every year, for the Sacramento Republic FC, for the River Cats back in the day. Growing up, Rayleigh Field was sold out every night when the River Cats were
they
were
won
playing.
championships.
Yeah, when they were part of the A's organization. Sorry. I won't die on that hill. But
no, keep going.
You mentioned the Island of Misfit Toys, which is from, of course, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I'm really hoping that this year I get to watch that with my grandson because I love that.
It's a classic.
I still love it. One thing about the Island of Misfit Toys, real quick, one of the Misfit Toys, I'm a water pistol that shoots jelly. And since I was about 9 years old, I've wondered, why don't they take the jelly out and put water in there? Problem solved. Why is it, if you're a water pistol that shoots jelly, you need somebody to take the jelly out and put water in.
Yeah.
It's just always bugged me.
You got that right.
Yes, sir.
That's the most Carmichael Dave moment you've had on this show so far.
Well, I'm sorry. I spent a lot of time thinking about that. As we were just thinking and talking about.
You need to get that checked out.
Yeah. No, I'm fine, actually. I enjoy it. What's going on with Major League Baseball and Sacramento's expansion efforts? Unfortunately, in order to increase our chances of getting a Major League Baseball expansion team, which are not great to begin with, we have to do this dance with the devil, and the devil is John Fisher and the A's, and it's very untoward for any of us that experience that as A's fans. Mm-hmm. I remember, Matt, and I know you lived it too here, you were working at the time, when that was unfolding that last summer, the last 2 summers of Oakland A's baseball, there was a lot of interest in that from Sacramento Kings fans because, A, some of them were A's fans, but B, it resonated because Kings fans had almost lost their team.
Right. Here we stay.
Yeah. So then to go from that to, oh, they're here now, let's support them. I mean, it's just a difficult thing to embrace for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable to say the least, and I know I got a lot of flack for the day it was announced that the A's were going to play in West Sacramento for 3 to 4 years. I tweeted out that I was disappointed in my city because while they're not even close to the same thing, what the A's went through and what the Kings went through, like the relocations, they're not even close to the same thing. People try and tie, and I know a lot of Oakland fans try and make Sacramento fans feel bad. It's like, you went through this and now you're ripping our... It's not even close to the same thing. That being said, we as Sacramentans can at least relate to the pain of believing it was over. But we got the joy at the end of it of they stayed. Oakland, these fans got their hearts ripped out.
Yep.
And before anybody makes the lazy, arrogant comment of they didn't have fans, look at their attendance numbers, you got to understand the whole picture. The fans were there. Big games, they did show up. The right field bleachers, regardless of how good the team was, that right field bleachers was always full, was always loud, and these people were mistreated by
Baseball
their own
and
organization.
Ownership drove the fans away.
Intentionally, so that they could blame them and use them as a public excuse to leave and grab money and make themselves not look like the bad guys in this entire situation.
Yeah.
But this went far beyond the last 2 years in Oakland. This was years upon years upon years of A's fans watching their favorite player come up through the farm system and get traded to the Yankees or Blue Jays or one of these other teams because they didn't want to pay him, right? Like I made the joke earlier about the Kurt Suzuki shirt jersey that I have. Like, I also have a Matt Chapman jersey in my closet. I got that from a giveaway because no one in their right mind would spend money to buy an A's jersey with a name on the back of it that wasn't a legend like Raleigh Fingers or Ricky Henderson because they were going to be on a sale rack in a year.
By the way, both those guys also ended up leaving the A's.
Right. But at least there was a little bit of times.
Right,
they actually won something back then.
Yeah.
But you see my point. Like, this fan base was mistreated forever, and I got to experience that as an Oakland A's fan. And now here is a Sacramentan hearing that they might try and do the same thing of blaming Kings or Sacramento fans for not showing up for the A's enough as a reason they don't get expansion. I'm not letting that fly in my city. That ain't happening.
Mm-hmm. I will say this. Kevin McCarty, the mayor, had a really good answer, I thought, to one of Dave's queries today. And Dave was pointing out how much money this costs. $2 billion for a stadium, roughly. $2 billion, for expansion fees from Major League Baseball. $4 billion. Where is it coming from? Who around here has it? And Mayor McCarty said there are a lot of teams in pro sports that are owned by people who don't live in the cities where the teams play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great answer.
Yeah. I mean, if Vivek Ranadive lives here now, well, actually, I think he probably still has his place down in the Bay Area, but he's a Bay Area Silicon Valley guy.
That doesn't solve the problem.
Sure.
But it just, it it underscores the fact the problem may not be as large as it appears.
It doesn't have to be a Sacramento homegrown billionaire.
As much as we'd all love that.
We don't have to find one up in the hills of El Dorado Hills or Folsom to buy that. Like, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Someone else can come in.
It's a long putt. I remember that's what Commissioner Stern said once on this station about getting the arena done. Well, they got it done. But right now, for Sacramento to get a Major League Baseball expansion team, it's a long putt. Yeah.
The reality of it, and what part of what you're saying is spot on, and I didn't hear a lot of the mayor, Kevin McCarty's interview. I'm going to have to go and check that out. But I will say this, and I think you're spot on in this form, Whitey, is there's only going to be a few more instances to get into baseball as an owner. Finding money not going to be hard. And it sounds crazy to say that because of the dichotomy of the society that we're living in, and we're hustling. Everybody's got 2 jobs and all. But what I'm saying is this. When you have a golden ticket, which is there's only going to be probably 2 or 3 more that baseball issues within the next 20 years, there's enough people who are interested in one of those tickets that it don't matter where you put it at. Somebody's going to pay for it because they want to be a part of it.
There's already people interested in paying.
Absolutely.
We haven't heard any of it yet,
absolutely.
but there's people interested.
Well, just go back. Just look at the former minority owner, the Batal family, who are super, super heavy into the Portland game, right? They're from I don't know if that's where they're born. I don't know if that's where they've adopted, but whatever, they're pushing around Oregon. They're Portland. And so they were a minority ownership group here in Sacramento. I don't believe they have any more ties because they're trying to push for some other things. But I say that in the form of they were an ownership group here. Their home base, wherever, is from Portland. So there's plenty of examples of people who want the golden ticket that don't necessarily have to be here. And we just got to keep an open mind. Now, some people, a lot of people, maybe a minority, a high percentage. I don't know. We'll see if we can cross that bridge. There's going to be a percentage of people who probably like, he's not they or them or he or she or that group or whoever the hell owns it at the time. Well, they're really not Sacramento, but they may learn to adopt it. As Matt just said, Vivek wasn't Sacramento. He's adopted Sacramento, to a certain level. So I don't really see that as an issue if you have somebody that is willing to jump on board and say, hey, I'm good with it being that way.
Yeah.
I'll finance it.
And by the way it's shaping up now, if there's going to be a new stadium, looks like it's going to be in West Sac, near where the current one is.
Yeah, I know.
And even the mayor said that today. He said, you'd think as the mayor, I would insist that it be in Sacramento. And he said, no, I'm looking at what's best for the community at large, and it may be, the region. And he mentioned Yolo County.
To illustrate Jay's point a little bit further, too, I know it's comparing apples to oranges, and I don't think baseball is as successful as the NBA necessarily, but like the evaluations for NBA franchises came out recently, and the Sacramento Kings as a franchise are valued at $5 billion. And Vivek bought the team for like $537 or $547 million. I mean, over an 800% increase. Like, this is why people, to Jay's point, want to get involved in Major League Baseball. It's a golden ticket because unless MLB really finds a way to screw it up, like, that the value is going to appreciate, especially if you get a new ballpark built in Sacramento or wherever.
It's already up.
It's already up.
Yeah, well, then you do have the whole issue of a potential work stoppage in 2026.
But nothing they haven't been through before. And they'll get through it. Baseball will survive a work stop.
Well, you know what it really comes down to, fellas? And this, I know I'm simplifying a lot of it because it's not, as Whitey's saying, it's a long putt.
Yeah.
You almost got to be, Tiger on a Sunday in a red T-shirt to get it done. I get it. But I'm simply, it's all about the money.
Yep.
It truly is.
Yep.
If you can, we've been through it here in Sacramento, and I'll throw his name out there, Ron Burkle, who allegedly was going to finance the MLS team, and I don't know what happened, and everybody's got opinions on what happened.
Yep.
There's 3 sides to every single story. The fact of the matter is if there is somebody, and I do know this, and working for the NBA for a time and part-time for MLB, there is a list of people that want to acquire an MLB team. And if you're sharp and smart, you pick up the phone if you're Sacramento, and I'm pretty sure they have done their due diligence. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, MLB, I want to talk to one of those 30 people. holding companies, all these different ownership groups, and let me get in and let's see. And if you can match made in heaven, if you can put it together, then now that's where you start to get on your feet and say you push. You know, I had the pleasure of working with Seth Everett, who was in the MLB front office very, very high for a long time. And one of the things he always told me in working in MLB and working with Manfred and C-League and guys like that, he always told me, there's always another phone call to make. And so as much as we can sit up here and say, hey, you know what, I don't know if it's going to be over there. Man, there's 30 ownership groups right now looking for a city to get behind. Mm-hmm. Can we do the prime time? Can we sell Sacramento to one of those 30? Mm-hmm. That's what it comes down to.
We have a phone call to make to Jesse Rogers from MLB Network. He'll get y'all ready for the World Series next with Matt George. More Kings talk to come as well on Sactown Sports.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but just driving along on 80 lately, the last couple of months, it seems like there is an almost countless number of vans from weird plumbing companies. Every time it seems like, and today I saw two more. I'm not making this up. It's like,
what?
Yes. What is that? I don't want to say it on the air, but Jay, it's amazing how many companies are out there, and heating and HVAC companies. There's so many out there. So when you need to make sure your HVAC system is ready for the upcoming winter, you could try one of the numbers on one of these pretty sketchy vans if you want. What I recommend you do is go to leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. They took care of us last winter. They came out the day that we called. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. I don't know if Sketchies, that's actually one of the vans was like, Sketchies, Heating and Air. I don't know if Sketchies does that. They get 4.8 stars on Google, does Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. So yeah, lots of friends recommend them. They've won awards with their service. Sketchies, Heating and Plumbing, nah, they've won nothing. And Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, water heater, residential, commercial plumbing repair, commercial HVAC services too. Jay, you're laughing. I'm telling you, it's true. It's unbelievable how many of these vans, like, what is that company? They're all over the place. Find out more at leesair.com. Check out their mission statement and let Lee's take care of you the way Sketchies will not take care of you. They treated us like family while setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Lee'sAir.com. License number 635355.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
KHD-KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
It's a glorious time, of course, to be a sports fan. The fall convergence is upon us. We're right in the thick of the NFL season. We've got NBA basketball tipping off tonight. How's this first game going, Matt George?
So far, so good. Rockets up 21-18. I'm a bit distracted, Whitey, because we just got a bit of breaking news from the Sacramento Republic FC.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Rodrigo Lopez, the longtime captain, legend here in Sacramento soccer, he is retiring at the end of this season. So after their USL playoff run, a final few or couple regular season matches, number 8. We'll hang it up. Rodrigo Lopez calling it a career at the end of the season.
Thank you for that update. Interesting. We also have, of course, the World Series. Get ready to start. Why do they wait so long to start the World Series?
Why do they wait so long? They're trying to drag it out the same way I guess the NBA drags it out.
Yeah,
but now
I understand all that.
They're getting overshadowed by the NBA being back.
Mm-hmm. We're hoping to catch up with Jesse Rogers from ESPN, MLB reporter. But I'll tell you what, I'm a big Toronto Blue Jay fan right now, Matt George.
Same, big time. I mean, just for the Guerrero family alone in that storyline, like seeing what it means to Vladdy Jr. And like I'm huge rooting interest because of that. Plus, Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. The Dodgers are fun to have in there. No offense to Dodger fans. Again, my mom was a Dodger fan, so you know. But it's fun to have a team to root against.
Absolutely. Every good story needs a villain.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are that villain. But dang it if they're not likable villains. Because I like Mookie Betts. I like Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, why I'm cutting his mic.
How could you not? How could you hate? Do you see what Shohei Ohtani did?
Oh, you stepped over the line.
You
now.
see what
First of all, you
Shohei
talked about
Ohtani
the
did?
I'm not a big Kike Hernandez fan.
3 homers and 10 strikeouts in the same game.
He's not even having the best postseason of anyone in this series.
That's maybe the greatest individual performance in the history of Major League Baseball.
Jesse Rogers, nice enough to join us. MLB reporter for ESPN. Jesse, thank you for your time. You've stepped right into a hornet's nest here. Is Vladdy? Sorry. Is Vladdy having a better postseason than Shohei Ohtani?
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
But Shohei had the better game.
Thank you.
I mean, you just said, Shohei is a cheat code. We can't really compare him to anything because of the pitching and the hitting. So when he has a game like that, that's the greatest individual performance, but doesn't mean the whole postseason is all his.
Sure.
He's had struggles against left-handed pitching. And, I think Vlad's had more important hits. I mean, the Dodgers have rolled it. If Shohei doesn't hit 3 homers and pitches like that and they lose, they're going to win the next day. So it's a little different. The value that Vlad is bringing to that team is much more needed, but that game by Shohei was something else.
It was.
Well, I don't know how much you heard about us blabbing while you were on hold before coming on, but the conversation started with me saying, I'm rooting hard for the Blue Jays because of the Guerrero family, right? And Vladdy, you could see what it meant for him and, of course, his father's unbelievable career. So if you need even more of a rooting interest other than hate watching the L.A. Dodgers in rooting for the Blue Jays, getting that win for the Guerrero family would be pretty incredible.
Well, my wife's a sucker for a good story, and she's been seeing the pictures of Vlad Sr. and Vlad Jr. when he was like 5, and she is just fallen in love with it. So, there's going to be, like you just said, sort of the evil empire of the Dodgers that is still kind of likable. I agree with everything you said there. And for fans of salary caps and all this other stuff that, maybe the Dodgers should win, to sort of put that exclamation mark on how screwed up baseball is, because I didn't really buy into it. I picked the Dodgers to repeat back in February, and I don't normally do that. And I just saw that, obviously, like everyone else, the talent. And I don't normally think of statements and things like that, and whatever the Dodgers payroll is, it is. However, they were literally able to keep players out of the lineup. And I'm talking about Blake Snell and some other pitchers like Ohtani, because they were so good and they knew they were going to make the playoffs. And so it's gotten to a point where they can just pay and pay and pay for any, not mistake, but just to slow play the season. So because everyone knows now that extra month now with not the extra month, the extra round of playoffs means, winning 4 rounds of the playoffs, if you don't get a bye, that's a lot. That takes a lot out of you. But it doesn't take as much out of you if you can pay for one team to play half the season and sort of another team to play the other half. And you know what I'm saying? Like the Dodgers have 2 teams.
Taxi squad.
So maybe it is. Yeah, maybe it is kind of getting ridiculous. But I'm not necessarily rooting against them. But Toronto, it's been a long time since they've won it. The Vlad story's great. So, I can get on board on the Blue Jays for sure.
That's Jesse Rogers, MLB reporter for ESPN. So, obviously, the Dodgers are a huge brand. How happy is MLB with this matchup, given that the other team is not even a United States market?
I'm not sure exactly, because I don't know the bump they get out of all of Canada necessarily. I don't know the answer to that question, but it certainly is 2 big name franchises. Even if you're not, I don't know, if you live in wherever, you may not care about the Toronto Blue Jays, but they are a name. I mean, they're the only team in that country. So it's a great matchup. It's 2 of the best teams in the league, obviously. I had a executive. I'm doing a little poll of executives, and I had someone point out something they liked about both teams. They invested in their starting pitchers. They've paid their starting pitchers, and that's helped them get through 3 or 4 rounds of the postseason, depending on what happens here. Dodgers had to win the wild card round. And that's kind of cool, because we've diminished starting pitching so much, and we've called the playoffs all about bullpens, but that hasn't been the case. They're riding their starters, certainly in LA more than even Toronto, but Toronto has legit starters as well, if you include Scherzer now and Bieber, both those guys you weren't sure what you were going to get. So that's kind of cool. It might be a starting pitching series. We've already seen that out of the Dodgers this postseason.
Jesse, the same people that are hate watching the Dodgers and saying, "Oh, I don't want the Dodgers to win," are in the same breath going, "Yeah, but what? Dodgers in 4, Dodgers in 5, right?" Just because this team just seems so unbeatable, and this question might be disrespectful in its own right to the Toronto Blue Jays, but Toronto's got a better chance than I think people are letting on, just because it's the Dodgers, right?
I agree with you. I think the difference between Milwaukee and Toronto is Toronto can hit some home runs. Now, the Brewers have done it here and there. They did it against the Cubs in the division series, but it's not in their DNA to hit home runs. And when you're facing stud pitching, you've got to hit a mistake out. And Vlad can certainly do that, and so can a few other guys. We saw George Springer hit a mistake out. So I think I'm picking the Dodgers in 6. I might reduce it to 5, but at least if it's 6, that means there's a shot. I don't even know what the Vegas odds are. I'm sure it's overwhelmingly LA, but I feel like they'll give them a better chance than anyone else they've faced. Even though Philly can hit home runs, a longer series, I think Toronto wins a game or 2.
So along those lines, Jesse Rogers with us, you mentioned that the Blue Jays have to punish the Dodgers for any mistakes they make pitching-wise, but what else do the Blue Jays have to do in order to have a chance to actually pull this off, which is possible? What are they going to have to accomplish?
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, to be very specific, they gotta keep Ohtani and Freeman in check as much as possible. They're not a dominant left-handed pitching team. Neither team is. So, sort of same thing on Dodgers side. But they could pitch around Vlad as much as they want. You can't really do that with the Dodgers. So at some point, you're going to have to get Ohtani and Freeman out from the left side. So that'd be my real specific thing. If you can keep both those guys in check, fat chance. You've got a shot. You've got a shot. I would say also Toronto plays good defense. You can't make any mistakes there. You can't give the Dodgers any extra bases or anything like that, and they normally don't. So play your normal solid game, and then cross your fingers you get Ohtani and Freeman out, more often than not. That's being real specific. That's kind of what I look at, because they don't have the lefties that even the Brewers had to throw at Ohtani and Freeman.
Jesse, there's an additional rooting interest here in Sacramento for the Blue Jays, and that's former Sac State Hornet Nathan Lukes, who, of course, is playing for Toronto. What do you make of just the season that he's had, his emergence into such an important piece of that Blue Jays team? Came up big a number of moments over this run, including like the game-winning hit that ended the Yankees season. Like, what do you make of him and our kind of hometown boy that's doing big things now on the World Series stage?
Extremely important player along with Addison Barger, because the big criticism of the Blue Jays, including from myself over the years, is they're way too right-handed, and you can pitch to them, especially in the postseason where most of we're just talking about neither team is really that stacked from the left side, from the mound. Most of your top starters, top relievers are going to be from the right side with the occasional good lefty here and there. And that can neutralize right-handed slug. And that's been the Blue Jays' problem. But out of nowhere, Lukes and Barger really balance the lineup of the Blue Jays. So very important player, even though he's not a big name or anything like that. Without his contributions, this team just doesn't have that kind of balance. And, like I said, the numbers don't pop off the page or anything like that in the regular season, but enough to help balance out the Vlads of the world and the Clements and guys like that. So very important along with Addison Barger.
Jesse Rogers with us from ESPN. Jesse, in some ways, this is kind of an old school series. I mean, you've got two teams in the World Series that rarely have played each other. I think the Jays and the Dodgers have only played like 30 times ever. Of course, in the old days in the World Series, like these teams never play against each other. So I have an old school question for you. Given that the Dodgers are not a very good defensive team, doesn't matter when your pitchers are striking everybody out. So is it important for Toronto to put the ball in play against the Dodgers?
I think the answer is yes, but there's another avenue as well. There's one potential weakness to the Dodgers, and that's the bullpen. Even in limited action this postseason, they have like a 4.88 ERA. They had a 4.21 ERA during the regular season, bottom third. It is a little shaky, which is why I think Dave Roberts, in part, left his starters in so long. He also left them in because they've been rested. That's what I go back to. Blake Snell played very little this season. Ohtani didn't pitch much. They slow played those guys in order to unleash them in the postseason. So putting the ball in play, but at the same time, getting the pitch count up of those starters, again, easier said than done. But if you can get one of those first two guys, for example, at home, to get them out of the game in 5 innings, all of a sudden you get to the underbelly of the Dodgers pen and you have a shot. You have a shot. I don't think you're going to get Snell and Yamamoto out within the first 5, but maybe one of them. And so I think that's the way. So put it in play, build up the pitch count, just find ways to get to that bullpen one way or another. That's my way of doing it.
Let's go.
Jesse, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball into this conversation, pun absolutely intended. A team that's almost as good as the Los Angeles Dodgers, our own West Sacramento Athletics. It was an up and down season for them. There have been a number of crazy moments over the course of the season. Nick Kurtz's 4-home run game against the Houston Astros being one of the number ones that jumped to mind. You talk about a roster with a ton of talent as this organization is looking forward to a lot of changes in the future. What did you make of just the year that some of these individual young players, even Jacob Wilson, had here in West Sacramento?
Yeah, no, A's were one of my kind of sleeper teams to start the season. If they didn't have that long, 11-game losing season? That was really weird.
Yeah, the month of May.
And they kind of recovered from it. I mean, I think there was an adjustment period out there. Obviously, the hitting numbers are going to be more like Colorado, and the pitching numbers similar, like in that ballpark right now. So they've got to figure out a way to pitch there. But Nick Kurtz, I mean, he overshadowed Rooker and some of the Butler. I mean, he was as good as they come. I had to vote for Rookie of the Year. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but I think you could guess. And so, very impressive. Again, how much of it was hitting there, but some of the road numbers were pretty good. Especially, I think Kurtz did well on the road, if I'm not mistaken. They have a good lineup. And that's before Kurtz did what he did. So he's got to figure out how to pitch there or win more on the road, and that team is on the rise. I would invest everything possible into pitching, whether that's monetarily or via trades, and try to build something up there. But like I said, that ballpark pitches more like Colorado than anywhere, so you got to figure it out. And if you do that, I think the A's could make a jump in the standings next year.
Jesse, I'm going to respect your wishes and not ask you who the vote was for, but it's funny. Nick might have taken the award from his own teammate, Jacob, with the way Jacob Wilson started the season. Then Nick came in and said, "Hold my beer."
I watched Jacob in college, and I love that kid. I did a mock draft on ESPN and picked him very early on, so I'm very proud of that pick. And what a start to the year he had. But, the fact that Kurtz overtook him potentially here is quite something. I mean, they've got something in the water there in terms of at the plate. Just got to sort of put it all together. And, I think the experience is certainly going to help. I don't expect an 11-game losing streak next year. But, it's not quite there yet. But you see the beginnings of something, and they're due for a leap, and they had one in a lot of ways. That may kill their season. So I'm expecting more out of them next year.
Hey, Jesse, we appreciate your time. Before we let you go, what's going on with the Giants and the managerial situation?
Yeah, that's an interesting take. I mean, interesting situation. I haven't followed it completely. It's not kind of my jurisdiction, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
We have people out west on it. What's interesting to me is I don't think Buster Posey has like that black book of phone numbers, if that's the right way of putting it. I think he has a limited sort of group to choose from, and so I think he's kind of working off of that. And maybe there's some recommendations in there, but I don't think he has the relationships with all the hot up and coming coaches and things like that. So it's been interesting to watch from afar, sort of where he's going with this, because I don't think it's going to be this wide net. It doesn't sound like it's been, but I haven't followed it too closely. Like I said, other people at ESPN are on that out west, but sure. That's the one thing I've heard. It's kind of a limited black book of phone numbers that Buster has. Maybe by design. He wants probably more of a combination of old school and new school kind of guy, and so I think that's what he's looking at. But as a new GM, I don't think he has the knowledge of all the sort of guys that maybe other GMs do. That could be a good thing, though. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying I think that's kind of what he's working from, a limited number of candidates right now.
Jesse, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy a few days off, and we look forward to your coverage, and enjoy the World Series.
Yep, I'll be out there. Talk to you later, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, the latest, of course, is it looks like Tony Vitello from Tennessee may be making the jump from college baseball to the Giants. It's not official yet. At least that wasn't the last I checked.
No. That's interesting, though.
That's a huge risk that I just don't know why Buster would feel the need to take it.
Wasn't one of the things that we heard about Buster is he's a baseball guy and he'll be able to finesse or convince or have some type of magic spell over some of these baseball people who come to the Giants. And Jesse said, he's like, look, I'm not that close to the situation. Obviously, he's a national guy, but, it's off-season, postseason. He's got some other work to do. But just even hearing those whispers of, well, he might not even have a Rolodex to go get somebody.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, Tony Vitello has never been a part of Major League Baseball. Not as a player, not as a coach, not as a manager, has no ties to the Giants except for Drew Gilbert. So, yeah.
It strikes me as a move that you would do for kind of a smaller market franchise or a team with not as many expectations as you're trying to, build something. the expectation, correct me if I'm wrong, the expectation for the Giants next year is we're going to give the Dodgers a run for our money. We're the team that has to.
As far as the fans are concerned,
we have to stop the big bad Dodgers because, no offense, Whitey, I don't know if the Padres can do it type thing. Like that, I think that's the belief internally. So you go out and get a college coach to tackle the big bad Dodgers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Boy, it sounds like a Giants move if I've ever seen one. and I've actually, and I'll be the first one to say, I actually like bringing new talent, new flavor, a different spirit. I'm interested in seeing it.
For sure.
But I'm also going to take the stab and the jab at the Giants fans who, and Whitey, you're a believer of the ballpark, they believe God was almost, crucified in the area. And so, like, when you talk to Giants fans, and, here it comes, a lot of me and 49er fans, people try to put similarities out there. It's interesting that they've missed on big names in free agencies, in the free agent market, and now they can't even, on the surface, and when you guys were talking about narrative, they can't even get a major league manager?
Yeah, right. We don't know the story. Like, maybe it's not that Buster can't get one. Maybe he's like, oh, this is the guy. For everything I know about baseball, and I've never been in baseball, but I think, it would be tough for a guy who's never been in the majors on any level to be telling major leaguers, this is how we do it or don't do it. How it is. You've never done it.
That's interesting.
Never
I'm
on
all
any
for
level.
it, though. I truly am all for it. I like something new, but you're right. So I'm kind of caught. It's a catch-22. I'm happy to see something different and, the city, I don't want to say an experiment, but see how this all pans out if they go through with the hire. But I'm also like, oh, yeah, this is perfect. Because now Giants fans, I don't want to hear nothing.
To your point, Matt, you're saying, it's something that a smaller market team would do. To me, it's also something that a team that's like nowhere would do.
Right.
We're starting
You're
over.
starting
We got
over.
nothing.
Exactly.
Why not?
And you would I would think that, the Giants are one of the bigger brands in Major League Baseball.
Yes,
like
sir.
it's a massive market with a massive fan base, one of the best ballparks on the planet. Like that to me seems like a very favorable job that a lot of big fish would want to have their crack at. And maybe Buster just goes, I don't want any of these fish. They're all old fish. I want a new fish. Give me new fishy.
It's a Huey Lewis song. I want a new fish.
Or maybe it's not an ocean. Maybe it's closer to a lake.
Oh, it's running dry.
Maybe it's drying up to be a pond.
A little pond.
I'm just saying.
It's a drought.
I love it.
A manager drought.
I appreciate it because you know how it goes. Giants fans will call you out quick, fast,
a little
in a hurry.
10-gallon tank from Petco.
You already know.
Buster Posey out there trying to pick his lobster.
Straight minnow. Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Guppy.
Yeah.
Get the goldfish at PetSmart. That's what he has
Absolutely.
to go for.
What kind of? Don't you got some kois in the yard? That the
no.
Sacramento. Who brought them?
Oh no, those are mosquito fish.
Mosquito fish.
From the county.
Mosquito fish. Yeah. The Sac County brought my boy some mosquito fish.
Oh.
And I'm just saying, it sounds like Sac County might have to bring might have to donate something to the Giants.
So Buster Posey is going to hire the mosquito fish of managers? Is that
I don't
what
know. What, did you hear the story today that supposedly he's at Tennessee, Tony Vitello, and he's in tears, and people are assuming that he's like saying goodbye to everybody?
Yeah.
Or he got called a mosquito fish and he took it the wrong way.
Or like I said, Jay, he looked at the roster. He said, yeah, I'll do it. And then they showed him the roster. He's like, oh, no, what have I done? That's not nice to Giants fans.
What?
It's funny, though. I put out on social media earlier this season just pointing out how long it's been. Now, that, to be fair, that Willie Adames did get them above 30 homers.
Yeah, they weren't bad last year.
No, they weren't. But how long it's been since the Giants have gotten a home run hitter to hit 30, and the A's get like 6 of them every year, and Giants fans were not happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm not taking a shot. I'm just saying.
No, that's a shot. Yeah. Stand on it.
Okay,
no
fine.
problem.
It's a shot.
It's a shot, baby.
You got noodle arms over there in Giants land.
When we come back, I know Matt has something about a Kings simulation that we're going to get into.
The robots are taking over the
Really?
NBA.
Yeah. Also, it's Russ, so will there be drama? Is there already Russ drama? That more when we come back to Sactown Sports.
The Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter right to your email. Get your latest on the Sacramento Kings, athletics, and Republic FC with the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com to join.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm a plumber and needed to get work in the door.
So business was going down the drain?
Yeah, I went to Staples. They printed yard signs, business cards, even flyers to leave at supply stores.
But at what cost, man?
Well, I saved $125 on my order, and now I'm booked solid. Boom!
Back at ya. For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online. Ends 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-329-2121. That's 800-329-2121.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco gets a huge win on Sunday night, beating Atlanta 20-10 to improve to 5-2 on the year. A historic night for Christian McCaffrey. 201 yards of total offense, 129 on the ground, 72 receiving, and a pair of touchdowns. San Francisco next in action at Houston on Sunday. You can catch all the action beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, the NBA season has started. Kings, of course, start their season tomorrow. Matt George is with us, and Matt George wants to take us into virtual reality?
Yes. Welcome to the future.
Into the realm of simulations?
Yes. Robots. They're taking over everything.
Yes.
They might as well take over the NBA too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this idea. Like, hey, let's see how robots, in this case, NBA 2K25 or 26, whatever the most recent one is. Let's see how they predict tomorrow night's game is going to go. Kings versus Suns. And as long as they keep leaving the door unlocked and I can sneak into this building with you, we can do this before Kings games on game nights. And just something fun to do. But I don't know if we got to name the robot, name the 2K simulation, or whatever the robot
find out.
is.
We'll see if the robot has to earn a name.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see how the robot does.
So the robot simulated this game, predicted how this game is going to go tomorrow
So we
night.
already know, according to your simulation, what's going to happen tomorrow.
Correct. According to the simulation, here's how tomorrow's going to go. Now, what I want to do is I want to read for you some of the numbers from individual Kings players. And you can tell me, oh, this sounds good, they won. Oh, this doesn't sound good, they lost.
All right.
Zach LaVine leads the Kings in scoring. In 33 minutes, he scores 27 points, shoots 10 of 19 from the field, also had 4 assists and a steal. So Zach LaVine leads the Kings in scoring. Next,
can I ask any questions? I don't want to ask questions if you don't have the information.
You can ask questions.
What did he shoot from 3?
From 3, he was 2 of 9 from three-point range.
Ooh, okay.
Second highest score for the Kings was Russell Westbrook with 16 points in 24 minutes off the bench.
24 minutes, okay.
Now remember, DeMontis Sabonis and Keegan Murray aren't playing in
Yeah.
this game. He had 16 points, 6-11 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point range.
That works.
Next highest scorer was DeMar DeRozan with a cool 14 points on 7 of 14 shooting. And then the fourth highest scorer, the only other King to reach double digits in scoring, Nick Clifford with 10 points.
Wow.
So you get 10 from the rookie. Zach scores almost 30, that 27-point mark. That's what we were looking at. Like, offensively, okay, this is what the Sacramento Kings need to get from Zach LaVine to win on a nightly basis. So based off of those numbers, and you can ask questions about other players if you want.
I do have one question.
Yes.
How did Coach Christie do with his coaches' challenges?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say?
Doesn't say. The robot doesn't know challenges,
I figured.
believe it or not. So based off those numbers, do you think the Kings won the game or lost the game?
It sounds like they scored around, I'm extrapolating, obviously, from not a lot of information. They scored 115, 116. I think they got the W here.
Okay. According to NBA 2K26, Kings and Suns tomorrow night, the winner of the game will be the Phoenix Suns. Final score 135-97.
135-97?
Devin Booker scores 59 points in the win. Shoots 18 of 28 from the field. Hits 7 of 8 three-pointers. Also gets to the line 18 times. Hits 16 free throws. And Dylan Brooks also had 15.
Where's Schroder? What did Schroder do?
Schroder had a woeful 5 points in 28 minutes. Did have 6 assists.
Well, he doesn't have the bad wheel.
Only 1 turnover. Keon Ellis only played 17 minutes, only 2 points. Maxime Reynaud does get into the game. Isaac Jones and Devin Carter do not.
What did you say, 130?
135-97.
That's outlandish.
That's what 2K predicts is going to happen tomorrow night. But here's the part that's kind of real. The Suns shoot 13 of 19, 68% from three-point range, while the Sacramento Kings shoot 8 of 29, 28% from three-point range in this game. So 2K is predicting the Kings will not shoot well as a team.
It's already broken.
And
this is all based on last season, right? For the most part?
I mean, the ratings of players are based off of last season, but this is 2K's taking into account that Keegan Murray is not there to play any defense, and DeMontis Sabonis is not there with his almost 20 points per game. Any other stats you want to know?
Well, there was the one I wanted to know that you didn't even have.
Well, the Kings got killed on the glass, too. I just realized. Defensive rebounds, 43-19.
How'd Drew Eubanks do? How about the Shack of Troutdale?
Drew Eubanks played 30 minutes, 4.6 rebounds, 3 blocks, but turned the ball over once, 2 of 6 from the field. Doesn't rebound
97.
nearly enough. The Kings get destroyed on the glass in this game.
That seems unlikely. I will say if that's what happens, boy, we're going to have a lot to talk about.
You got that right. And the Kings forced 19 Suns turnovers. They had 14 steals as a team. They just couldn't shoot. They shot 43% from the field. The Suns shot 68%. So they couldn't get a stop. They couldn't hit shots, and they couldn't get a stop.
Did you say how Keon did?
Keon will play, according to 2K, 17 minutes, shot 1 of 1 from the field, 2 points.
Oh, my goodness.
Did have a steal and a block. So NBA 2K26 believes that the Sacramento Kings will get wiped tomorrow in Phoenix by the Suns, and Devin Booker, who will score 59 points.
All right, we'll see how your little robot friend does.
I didn't say it was my friend. He just exists, and he will be here throughout the season. We'll see how well he does in comparison to real life.
Yeah, doesn't have a name yet. If we were to give him a name now, it wouldn't be a very nice name.
No, it'd be something that can't get through FCC regulations at the moment. But I saw that simulation, and I hesitated. I was like, should I do it again? Should I do another one just to make it more fun? Nope, we're sticking with it. Whatever it says is what it is. So according to 2K, the Kings will start out 0-1, will lose by almost 40, and Whitey Gleason will come on the air the next day and watch as the city burns down around him.
Good question from Family Schlegel. Who led the Kings in plus minus?
Ooh, good.
You have that?
I have that. I think I have that. Yeah, 2K has that. Let's see. Plus minus was, wouldn't you know it, Neek Clifford. He was a +8.
+8.
In 18 minutes. Play the rookie. Doug, start him.
All right. Yeah, Jess says, I love a reverse jinx, so maybe that's what you're doing.
Thank you,
there.
robots.
You and your little robot friend.
Thank you, robots.
Who thinks he or she or it is so smart.
Dario Saric did start, played 21 minutes. Didn't do anything.
You're enjoying this.
No.
Yeah, I can see. You've got a little lilt in your voice. And let me see.
I was very sad when I saw the score.
You seem like it.
No.
You seem like you were crushed.
I'm trying to have fun. Because I pitched this idea, and the first simulation went so bad, I was like, well, crap. I got to find a way to make this fun.
Well, we'll see. I mean, if it's on the money, obviously you've got something.
I don't want it to be on the money, though, because then I'll be sad. Right now, it's funny because it's a video game. It can be ha-ha-ha. But if it really happens, I'm going to be not ha-ha-ha.
Well, Russ had a good game.
Russ plays well.
Yeah.
Kings can't shoot.
Is there already some Russell Westbrook drama? Before you answer, I know that there were some things that somebody on kind of an off-brand site said.
I didn't even see it.
Somebody on the station may or may not have talked to them about that. I'm not talking about any of that.
Styles.
I thought that was poorly sourced, and I wouldn't have brought it up, and I'm not bringing it up now, but I just know it came up today, and hey, Alan's doing a great job. He knows what he's doing. So I'm not talking about that. My point to bring that up is not to say anything about that. I'm just saying I'm not talking about that.
Right.
But there was a story that just came out. It was an excerpt from a book involving some back and forth between Russ and LeBron when they were both with the Lakers. Did you see that? It's actually very interesting.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So I guess, it's actually very interesting.
But
about how they had kind of a standoff, didn't really see eye to eye on
well,
something.
LeBron has not seen eye to eye with a lot of people that typically end up not being around there very long, including many head coaches over the course of his career. So I don't necessarily view that as something to be concerned with Russell Westbrook about. I think it's pretty clear a lot of people in LA made Russ out to be the bad guy and the fall guy for that team. And that team had a lot more problems than Russell Westbrook specifically. Whitey, I've talked to players around the league. I've talked to media members that have covered Russ for many years, from OKC to last year in Denver, or talked to coaches. Russ is loved by almost everybody that he plays with. He's the guy, you hear terms like this with Dylan Brooks. We heard this a lot with Matt Barnes. Like, guys you hate to play against. They're villains, but you love to have them on your team. You hear that described about Russ a lot. And we got the opportunity this weekend to speak with Russ for the first time as media. And one of the things he talked about, because someone brought up his relationship with Malik Monk from their time together as teammates. Malik called Russ one of his favorite teammates he's ever had. And Russ talked about how he used to have Malik in when Malik was in high school, like working out with him, and how he loves to hopefully be inspiring to people, and he loves to be a good teammate that learns about these players' stories. He wants to know about his teammates' stories so he can help lead them in that way. That's who Russell Westbrook is.
Yeah.
He's going to get fiery. He's going to say some mean things at times. He's going to do some crazy things on the court. And he might have an interaction with me over the course of the season where I ask him a dumb question and he cusses at me or rolls his eyes at me. It's going to happen. That's his personality. Doesn't make him a horrible person. Doesn't make him a bad teammate in any way. So I don't buy into any Russ Westbrook drama.
I was going to ask you, maybe you answered this question. Who is the first Sacramento media member who's going to rub him the wrong way? You think it's you?
It already kind of happened.
Well,
but in a friendly way.
Not really. Yeah. But he made a face at Jason Anderson, right?
Jason Anderson of the Sac B, by the way, is not a bad guy by any means. He's awesome. But he gets these fun relationships with the players. Like, he had a great relationship with Buddy Hield, where they always went back and forth. Buddy always messed with him. Jason and Doug Christie have this relationship where Jason's always the guy before games to ask, so are you starting this guy? And Doug's like, shut up. I'm not telling you. Like, why are you asking? And he's always been that way. He did it with Mike. He's done it with everybody. It's Jason doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason now is, to the surprise of no one, he's the first guy to get a Russell Westbrook reaction face. That's just who Jason is and kind of the questions that Jason asks. So I don't think he's necessarily made Russell Westbrook angry, but him getting that first reaction.
And that was a fair question, really.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was not a
it was a
pointed question.
And it was a total Russ response. Again, It was not a disrespectful response from Russ. It was more of a please, I'm going to keep playing until you're going to have you can't stop me. I'm going to keep playing till I want to be done. That's Russell Westbrook's personality. So, but some people might look at that facial expression and be like, wow, that was really rude of that player. No, that's just who Russ is.
Two former Kings are both under a great deal of pressure with the new season upon us, and we'll wrap things up by looking at that next with, hey, Matty George, what a job he's done today.
Yay.
Next on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Suns. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Mac Jones throws. McCaffrey! He's got it! Touchdown! 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 49ers! Stafford gets under center at the 11-yard line. He takes it. He turns. He gives to Kyron Williams. He gets packed. I think he's short, Tim. I think he's short. And the 49ers storm the field. It is all over. The 49ers have won it in overtime.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
discuss.
And we've got you covered. It's the Drive Guys.
Matt George is here. Matt George just shared with us that he did a simulation of tomorrow night's game. I'm not going to tell you how it came out. It wasn't good.
Bad robot. Bad robot.
It wasn't great. People are still asking some questions about how this guy do, how that guy do. A lot of interest in Nick Clifford, and I think you went over his numbers. And according to your little robot friend, he's going to have a nice opening night, but it's not going to matter.
Yeah, the robot thinks Nick Clifford will have a nice little debut. 18 minutes, 10 points, the shooting's not great. 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 4 from three-point range, 3 of 3 from the foul line. Does have a block and 2 steals, though.
How many assists?
2. When the entire team isn't shooting well, it's hard to get assists.
It is. It definitely is. The NBA season underway, and there's 2 former Kings who are going to be under a lot of pressure this year. De'Aaron Fox, of course, who's currently injured.
Yep.
High expectations for the Spurs, and he's a big part of all that. And Mike Brown coaching the Knicks. This was interesting. Former King Matt Barnes had this to say about Mike Brown. Mike is a great person. He's just, to me, he's not a leader of men. I couldn't imagine it now because these kids are making so much money. You have to have the respect of them. I think Mike is such a nice guy. That's what bleeped Mike up. Mike wants to be cool with everyone instead of putting his foot down like, this is my team, this is what's going on. And Matt Barnes said, he was my coach with the Lakers. Kobe and Ron Artest used to walk all over that guy. Sacramento lost respect to the team quickly. Too nice for his own good, end quote. Matt Barnes.
So I hear what Matt is saying, but I fundamentally disagree with the part where he says like he's too nice, he wants to be cool with everybody and won't put his foot down. Mike putting his foot down in Sacramento and coaching guys hard and calling guys out was one of the reasons why the locker room turned on him the way that they did. And I shouldn't say the whole locker room because it was very clear there were 2 lunch tables because Sacramento, they turned into a junior high school last year with all the drama and everything. And there were 2 lunch tables. And there was the Mike Brown, De'Aaron Fox lunch table. And then there was the Doug Christie and Domantas Sabonis lunch table. And which side were you on type thing. And a lot of circumstances played into it. We don't need to get too far into the weeds in that anymore.
He was very critical publicly of Domas at times.
And no, he was more critical than with De'Aaron.
Yes,
he was closest with De'Aaron. But yes, he was critical of Domas. He was critical of a lot of people. You would visibly see him and Malik Monk going back and forth. They, in theory, had a great relationship, although I think I know which table Malik Monk was sitting at. He had his disconnects with Kevin Huerter at times and how he didn't blame Kevin Huerter necessarily, but Kevin was the first starter from Beam Team 1 to have his spot questioned, and when Chris Duarte came in and everything, and that kind of ruined Kevin's confidence in a lot of ways. I'm not saying Mike Brown did everything perfectly, not even close. Mike Brown also got a lot of unfair blame, and I think people in the locker room who have not done nearly enough in their careers as winners decided that they knew more than a coach that has had a lot of success in the league over the years.
Some of this is inevitable. My understanding is that an NBA coach knows there's a segment of his roster that no matter what he does, there's going to be a segment that hates him.
Yeah, there's always going to be
There's
always going to be people that are frustrated because everybody wants to play 48 minutes. Everybody wants to start. Like Malik wanted to start forever. Now, I'm not saying Malik caused any sort of drama, but we know Malik and Mike went back and forth because of how competitive they are. And Malik was also the first guy, anytime Mike Brown got ejected or went at the referees, who was the first guy to step up and stop Mike and grab Mike and like smile with it? It's Malik. So it didn't have to be these guys hated each other, but there were clearly, obviously, disconnects with how Mike ran things here in Sacramento.
Let me say this as we get back to specifically what Matt Barnes had to say. I know that's one of the things I'd heard from league circles before Mike had coached his first game here, that was a concern.
Yeah.
That maybe, well, he's a really nice guy. There's some question as to whether he can be tough enough to be the head coach.
That's why, sorry.
No, I was going to say real fast, he said that on this show. I don't know if you were here, but he said the exact same thing that he just said.
Matt Barnes?
Yeah, he said it was right after Mike got released. We had Matt Barnes the day of, I think. And he was like, Mike's not a leader of men. And he talked about the Lakers, and he talked about, his time and guys that he's played with that has worked under Mike Brown. He literally said the same exact thing.
That's why Mike is, it's so much easier to be an assistant coach, and Mike is a great assistant coach because assistant coaches are relied upon by a lot of these players to kind of be my guy to go to, right? Like Doug Christie was that for Domantas Sabonis. He was the coach, the individual coach that worked with him. So Mike was so well respected in Golden State. Not that he didn't hold those guys accountable, but he had a great relationship with Draymond Green because it was separate from head coach Steve Kerr and with Steph Curry because it was separate from head coach Steve Kerr. But it's way easier to be an assistant coach than it is a head coach because of that. You're not the final boss.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, like, Mike is an incredibly nice guy. One of my favorite coaches I've ever covered, and specifically for me, it was because he made the effort to teach me or to connect with me about things that I didn't understand or things that I questioned. If I would question Mike to his face about something that he was doing, he would walk me through why he was doing it, sometimes to a fault. Sometimes he'd give away too much information. There were a number of times where in practice, he would pull the media members out onto the court and walk us through a set or what he was trying to do so we'd have a better understanding of it. Not that we wouldn't criticize it, but that we would at least know how it would work. Mike made the effort to teach and connect in that way. That's why I admire Mike so much and I appreciate Mike so much because of that element of him. Now that we apply this to a pressure situation in New York, he is joining a championship or bust situation.
Yes.
Which is what I'm worried about for Mike. Because
and they had some success before he got there.
I think Mike Brown can absolutely coach that team to a championship. But there is no wiggle room.
Right.
Like, you have to deliver now. That team is ready to win now. And we know the New York market is not going to be as lenient as the Sacramento market was. So I'm not worried for Mike, but you got to deliver.
Yes.
Here's your shot.
Yeah, you look at the differences between this and when he came here. When he came here, he'd just been in Golden State, helping them win multiple championships, coming to an organization that just help us be relevant.
Playoffs.
Yeah, and so a totally different set of expectations. By the way, interesting point you made, Jay. This story is at Yahoo today, and it was posted yesterday. When Matt Barnes said this and where he said it, it's not clear. This may actually be from what he said on this show that someone aggregated and kind of misappropriated.
Maybe. I don't remember. Were you here the day they let Mike Brown? I don't remember what day Mike was. He
It
fired?
was December
During holidays.
Holiday time.
Yes.
Yeah.
December 26th or 27th.
I was in here doing our show with the High Flyer and with Scott Marsh.
So maybe it was. Were you gone the next week? Because you were gone the next week, I believe, right?
Yeah.
For New Year's something.
Yes.
So me and Drapes had Matt on.
Okay.
I think when we were off of vacation, and he came on and pretty much, not word for word, but paraphrased the same thing.
It might be.
Yeah.
It. That's interesting.
And I
then
remember
maybe
he said
someone
that.
Pulled it out now, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's in New York." Well, guess what? New York, bloom.
Yeah, see, they got to give us
Yeah.
some love, White. You know, I mean, we got a lot of copycats out here, man.
I'm looking into it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to track
we
it
need
down.
that. I mean, I can always go back and yank it because Matt Barnes literally said, it's like, I got nothing but love for Mike, but he ain't a leader of men. And when I was down there with Los Angeles, and he said this, there is a difference between talking to Malik Monk, no disrespect to Malik, and there's a difference between talking to Kobe.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Duh.
There's a difference between talking to, player A for the Kings and talking to Matt Barnes. Like, we on some different type of terminology and different type of avenues. So he was like, Cats was running over him. And he was like, that's not only the top, even in Cleveland. People told me and folks that I played with and was like, nah, we bulldozed them and bullied them, and things like that. So maybe they still in our thunder, Whitey.
Yeah, uncredited perhaps. Yeah.
Who put this out?
Well,
Yahoo?
It's from Yahoo, but they picked it up, and it's kind of one of these things where
just
there's
aggregated
layers to
everywhere,
it, trying to figure out where it started. But if Matt's right, and I know Matt knows what he's talking about, then maybe Mike Brown learned from some of those experiences and applied some of that here to Sacramento, and it's still, rub people the wrong way, which can happen too.
No matter, there's always, like you said, always somebody that's going to be upset. Some player, you treat each player as its own, has their own reaction to things. I know if I were coached and being screamed at, I don't think I would react to that very, very well. Me personally, it wouldn't make me want to play hard for you. But some players need that motivation. De'Aaron Fox loved the way Mike Brown coached him. They had the kind of relationship to where De'Aaron Fox, I'm sure he wasn't happy when Mike took the podium after that Pistons loss and basically said Fox blew it. But Fox liked that accountability because accountability was lacking here in Sacramento for the first 5 years or whatever that Fox was here. So different players like different things. And the best coaches can manage egos. That's why I give Steve Kerr so much credit in Golden State. He's managed some massive personalities there and kept that for a long time. And I know that we've had the Draymond Green pool incident and stuff like that. There's disagreements every day. But he's managed to make that group of very different personalities into a dynasty. That's why I give him so much credit. And that's not easy for anybody to do.
Well, Mike Brown probably with the Knicks is going to have a honeymoon period, if he has one at all, of at the most 2 games. I wish him the best, though. I wish him
there are going to be people screaming at him based off his rotations if they start 0-1 like that. That's the biggest and brightest of lights in New York City. That team has to win a title this year, and they're looking at the Celtics, and they're looking at other teams that are banged up and going, this is our shot. We got to go take it. We got to beat Cleveland.
Yeah, well, thank you, Matt, for coming in. I think despite your constant references to the Raiders.
Raider robot.
And he did something that was very offensive. He said something nice about the Giants
I said the Dodgers were likable. They were likable. They're villains, but they're likable.
Other than that, good job, I'd say. Yeah,
so
thank you.
Those are 2 pretty massive strikes.
They are. But thank you.
So I'm down 0-2.
Yeah. We'll see you Friday night, if not before.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
Thank you. Stick around. We got golf to go. Teeing it up will be Scott Marsh and, of course, Frank LaRosa next on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger,